She asked Wade about his actions as the sun set behind the mountains. Wade stood by the lake, surrounded by nature's beauty, reflecting on the scene. He stood beneath the sky, his hair flowing in the breeze, taking a deep breath. With a playful smile, he addressed the boy who was staring at him, his hair tied back. Surprised, the boy exclaimed, "Dad," as the sky illuminated his face. With a gentle smile, Wade teased the boy about forgetting his father and ruffled his hair. He eagerly called the boy to help with the fishing net, promising to show his skills. Wade gazed into the distance, determination and uncertainty in his expression as leaves drifted around him. Walking with his companion, he replied hesitantly, "Okay." As they neared their destination, he cast the net over the boat's side, causing water to splash while his companion watched excitedly. He accidentally kicks a crab into his friend's waist, looking shocked amidst the splashes of water and unexpected chaos. His friend abruptly snatches the meat skewer, creating an atmosphere of surprise and humor. He playfully remarks on the drawing's quality, while his friend grins mischievously, carving an image into the wooden surface under a bright sky. A serene lakeside unfolds at sunset, with swaying reeds, a tranquil boat on calm waters, surrounded by majestic mountains and colorful skies. During sunset, the sky vibrant with color, two characters share a moment on the boat, one thoughtful, the other relaxed with a cigarette. A character gazes at shimmering water, startled by a large fish suddenly appearing, its colors reflecting the light. Captivated by a red carp swimming gracefully, he watches it beneath the shimmering water. Leaping from the boat, he calls out for it not to run away, splashing into the vibrant blue water under the setting sun. Swimming upwards, determination shows on his face as water droplets pierce his expression, reaching out amidst swirling bubbles. Surprised to find the fish gone, he wonders why there are no fish, reaching out with bubbles floating around. He experiences a peculiar sensation, questioning his inability to move after entering the water, surrounded by glimmering bubbles in a tranquil blue expanse. Feeling immobilized underwater, he urgently calls for his dad, overwhelmed by the inability to move. Waves crash against the wooden boat under a moonlit night, creating a calm yet mysterious tension. Under the stars, he calls for his father, his expression showing both longing and concern. Startled, he awakens to find himself tied up. He hears someone say, "Yo, you're awake now," adding to the tense atmosphere. Lai Tu, with a smirk, taunts him, asking if he misses his dad now, creating a chilling atmosphere. Confusion fills his expression as he struggles with bound hands, questioning his situation. The man smirks, praising Master Zhang for his clever plan, revealing they are using the kid as bait to lure a water monster. Three characters are on a small boat under the starry night. One is seated and focused, while the others stand by, watching the water. Under the starry sky, one character smirks at the tied-up individual, teasingly noting that they're still sleeping soundly during the watch. Under the starlit sky, he realizes it was just another dream, his troubled expression suggesting deeper concerns. He thinks about his new life, having arrived a month ago after the body's previous owner fell ill and passed away. Recalling the original owner's early life, he remembers losing his mother at birth and only having his father. 3 months ago, he inherited this life, carrying past emotions. Lying in a hospital bed, he reflects on unfamiliar feelings as others gather nearby, sharing concerned glances and whispers of hope. Reflecting on the original owner's social circle, he realizes he was deceived by a cunning liar and became bait for capturing monsters. After a month in this world, he realizes it hosts various supernatural abilities as he reflects by the water with companions under the moonlight. Standing by the water, he contemplates how humans can develop incredible powers, referring to those in this field as warriors. He considers that, besides humans, other creatures in this world can also cultivate, evolving into beings generally referred to as warriors. With intensity, he yells, "Here it comes," as energy radiates around him, indicating an approaching threat. He gasps, calling out, "Water beast," with a shocked expression, as a mysterious blue glow surrounds him. Sitting covered in sweat and dirt, his long hair in disarray, he turned with determination, prepared for upcoming challenges. A small boat floats peacefully on the shimmering water, casting a wave resembling a crescent moon, creating a tranquil and mysterious scene. As the boat navigates the crashing waves, the characters feel excited and anticipate the journey, urging others to support the team by reading the series on their website. He exclaimed in shock upon realizing the water beast was half human height, his blue eyes wide in fear, sweat glistening on his brow. He cursed upon discovering the creature's enormous size while his companion watched in disbelief, water splashing chaotically around them. As the massive creature surged toward them, he shouted in panic, causing waves to crash around the boat in chaos. He expressed excitement, preparing to embrace a long-awaited moment, his foot poised above the shimmering water under the starry sky. Reflecting on a decade of unnoticed hard study, he felt anticipation for the moment he had long awaited. Unleashing a powerful punch, he declared it contained a decade's worth of strength, as dazzling energy erupted, leaving everyone in awe. Facing the monstrous creature, he felt chilling dread as the giant unleashed a devastating roar, sending waves crashing around them. As the creature emerged, water erupted around it, and its glowing yellow eyes fixed on him with intense focus. Laughter echoed as one character enjoyed the chaos amid the raging waves, while another struggled, both caught in a moment of adventure. With a terrified expression and sweat on his face, the character exclaimed he couldn't die here. Shocked and distressed, one character expressed frustration with a curse, while another, tense and nervous, sat behind him, drenched in sweat. A furious man, gripping a sword, loomed over a wounded hand with blood pooling around it, shouting in anger. A mysterious figure, submerged in water, reached for a glowing object above, surrounded by swirling bubbles and debris, as shadows loomed below. Submerged in dark water, he struggled and called for help while bubbles swirled around his form. Underwater, he coughed and gasped for air, struggling against the restraints as bubbles escaped from his mouth, fear evident in his panicked eyes. Underwater, he struggled with a massive shadow looming above him, a sense of danger coursing through his veins as air bubbles rose. Struggling underwater, he gasped in desperation, realizing he couldn't hold on any longer, as bubbles amplified his fear of impending doom. In the swirling bubbles, Wade struggled for air, feeling overwhelmed as a voice urged him onward, nearing his limit. A worried character peered into the darkness, calling for Wade, urging him to wake with concern. Droplets glistened on his hair as he whispered, calling out for his father. He pondered how wonderful life would be if it were real, reaching through the shimmering water with bubbles drifting around. Gripping the sword tightly, energy surged, illuminating his determined face as he prepared for the upcoming challenge. Bubbles surrounded a submerged wooden pole as he clutched it, droplets glistening, signaling a moment of intense struggle. In panic, he shouted, "Yua," while clinging to the submerged pole, water splashing around. Wide-eyed, water dripping down his face, he shouted in urgency about his dad's boat. Dark shadows lurked beneath the water, bubbles rising as panic set in, prompting a desperate search for solutions. Emerging from the water, his hand reached upward, bubbles rising around, indicating danger in the depths. He struggled in the water, bubbles swirling around him, reaching out while crying, "No." He was surrounded by bubbles underwater, with a large crocodile above, evoking terror and desperation. In the depths, he murmured, expressing he tried his best amid looming darkness and swirling bubbles. Desperately reaching out, he whispered apologies to his father, enveloped by shadows, as a massive creature approached. Bravely standing against a colossal dragon with piercing green eyes and jagged teeth, he prepared to confront the surrounding darkness. Facing a gigantic dragon with a wide-open mouth and sharp teeth, he prepared for the ultimate battle against fear. Descending into the water's depths, he remained calm and determined as shadows hinted at lurking dangers below. Poised in the water, he wielded water manipulation power, surrounded by blue energy and glowing mysterious symbols. A mystical altar radiated blue energy, with floating symbols hinting at ancient power, creating an enchanting atmosphere. The character's eyes glimmered as they awakened a new ability, Water Monkey, sensing recovery and pondering with a curious, "Huh." He wonders about his existence, recalling the moment he drowned, while a creature lurks beneath the water. Panic sets in as water swirls around him, realizing his elemental power of water is manifesting, with blue energy coursing around him. He questions why it feels like walking on land, noting the resistance has vanished as blue energy surrounds him. Curious about the ability, water flow control, he realizes it allows him to manipulate water, though it demands physical energy. Considering his water manipulation abilities, he notices even his breathing is affected as he navigates through blue water currents. He discovers he can breathe underwater, surprised as bubbles rise around him. He marvels at the energy around his hand, realizing his injuries have healed while surrounded by water. In shock, he glances back at a shadowy creature with green eyes, feeling tension in the murky depths. Terror grips him as a creature with fangs and scales lunges, filling him with dread. Screaming in alarm, he clutches his injured arm, overwhelmed by fear and pain. He appeared startled and confused, questioning what had just occurred with surprise and concern in his eyes. He watched in shock as water currents swirled around him, wondering if his actions had caused it. Realizing the swirling water might be the system mentioned in novels, he was taken aback. Surrounded by swirling water, he felt a surge of power, realizing his newfound ability to control it. As a fierce creature broke free, electric energy crackled around, indicating its impending power. The atmosphere was tense. He sensed urgency as he realized his control over the creature was limited, with electric energy surging around them. In deep water, a creature with jagged teeth opened its jaws, creating bubbles as it prepared to strike. A green dragon lunged from the depths, teeth bared, while a character prepared to strike with a kick, releasing bubbles. A figure with flowing hair levitated underwater, surrounded by blue energy, confronting a massive creature and pondering a way to subdue it. With determined eyes, he gripped a glowing blue blade, ready to face the challenge before him, bubbles swirling around underwater. He recognizes his success in obtaining the Blood Command Seal, enabling him to make a pact with a water beast. He commands the water beast below, demonstrating his new power while surrounded by bubbles, and invites readers to support the series on manhwaga.com. While bubbles swirl around him, he controls the massive water beast, displaying his new abilities in an impressive underwater scene. Manipulating the shimmering water currents, he reveals his mastery of water flow control, feeling empowered by the swirling aquatic energy. Preparing for battle, he focuses on immobilizing the monstrous creature, showing determination amidst the swirling water energy. Water swirls violently as the massive creature roars, its glowing green eyes expressing a desire to unleash chaos. The massive creature roars, with blue lightning crackling around it, highlighting its effort to break free. As the enormous creature approaches, blue sparks light up its form while he stands ready to face the threat with determination. The Blood Command Seal appears, with vivid red lines tracing his hand, symbolizing a strong connection and challenges ahead. A brilliant red and orange emblem emerges, with intricate symbols radiating energy, marking a significant moment of power and destiny in the story. He unleashed a blazing orange emblem against a creature, showcasing his power and defiance. A powerful force launched him backward, surrounded by a whirlwind of energy and light, highlighting the battle's chaos. With determination, he announced it was time for a battle of willpower, his eyes gleaming with strength. His eye glowed, revealing a swirling mix of colors and flames, indicating powerful determination. Feeling anxious, he grimaced with water droplets on his face, questioning the possibility of failure. He lay unconscious in a hospital bed, an oxygen mask on his face, as monitors beeped softly. His hand crackled with energy as he commanded a beast to submit, feeling in control. His body surged with energy as he unleashed a powerful attack, embracing his strength. The tranquil night sky glimmered under a full moon, illuminating serene waters and distant mountains. A weary figure lay on the riverbank under the moonlight, lost in thoughts amidst the peaceful night. A young man lies on the grass under the moonlight, relieved to be alive. Nearby, a massive crocodile silently approaches from the water's edge. Liang-O, the young man, confidently contemplates his strategy to confront the approaching crocodile. Sitting beside the crocodile, Liang-O reassures it, promising to call for help if needed. After calming the crocodile, Liang-O reflects on their mental bond, ensuring it could always reach out. A splash interrupts the calm water. Standing by the water, he considers going home for food and rest. He recalls memories of the terrain, reassuring himself of its proximity to home. Navigating the shimmering waters, he reminds himself of the familiarity of the terrain. He moves through the bright waters surrounded by vibrant flowers, with a dark cave nearby creating intrigue. Liang O confidently directs Butler Zheng, pointing towards the path as a group moves purposefully in the distance. He commands Butler Zheng to follow him, with a group ready to join his mission. As they approach Wade House, one character questions the identity of the others, suggesting they are with the Zhao family and suspecting Wade is in trouble. Li Bo, with bandaged hands, calls out for Wade, asking another character carrying a large bundle about his whereabouts. Li Bo, worried, realizes Wade is in trouble. Three figures walk toward a dark building under a blue sky, focused and determined, unaware of what lies ahead. He smirks, contemplating the aftermath, thinking if Liangke falls, all his belongings will be his, covering the mission's failure. He scowls, expressing frustration at Zhang's weaknesses, blaming them for the current situation. He bursts through the doorway, kicking it open, with two men standing behind him, creating tension. A man with long, white hair grins slyly, with two men behind him, one commanding Butler Zheng to enter. A man with long, white hair smirks, his blue eyes glowing with confidence. An elderly man, wide-eyed and with a gaping mouth, expresses disbelief as vibrant sparks light up the background. A character with messy hair, shocked, sits on a platform while another character points, demanding to know how he is still alive. Another person, hair tousled, sits casually and curiously asks everyone about their activities, mixing calmness with intrigue. An old man, stunned and angry, accuses someone of not being dead as a long-haired figure looks on, surprised. Visibly distressed, the old man questions someone behind him about their reckless actions, demanding to know if a person is dead or alive. The elderly man introduces another character as Liang Chu to Master Zheng, who listens intently. Zheng Xiang, the Zhao family butler, expresses surprise upon meeting Liang Chu, noting Liang's good fortune to be alive. A man with a wicked grin claims that surviving for 1,000 years is a disaster, highlighting the burden of such a long existence. A man yells to take him, gesturing wildly, with two others behind him, their faces tense and urgency in the air. A young man, fearful, questions his captors about their intentions while a woman and man hold him tightly, urgency evident. Amid rising tension, he firmly instructed the other to cease making foolish remarks and retaliated forcefully. Master Zhao, frustrated, asked about their next steps and sought Master Zhang's assistance to tame the water beast for the villagers. During a tense encounter, Master Zhao accused someone of collaborating with the water beast, blaming them for endangering the villagers and causing financial loss to his family. In a heated exchange, he accused them of setting a trap and using him as bait for the water beast, betrayal clear in his expression. He furiously accused them of killing Master Zhang, labeling them arrogant and a monster for returning. Reflecting on being labeled a monster for his solitary nature in a past life, he contemplated the meaning behind their words. He stood before a crowd with "thief" labeled on him, questioning if being without parents meant he enjoyed taking things. A group mocked him with laughter, but he stood stoically, seemingly unfazed by their taunts. He looked off camera with seriousness, his eyes showing intensity and determination, hinting at future challenges. With a grin, he mocked a friend for showing a fierce expression, challenging him to prove bravery by fighting. He swung his sword at his opponent, the scene marked by sharp lines and dark colors. He delivered a powerful punch, urging readers to support the team by visiting the website manhwaga.com. Reflecting on the past, he mentioned being labeled a monster for his ruthlessness and stated that giving up isn't his style. He lunged forward, eyes focused, as chaos erupted around him, filled with energy. Charging ahead with intense focus, he evaded an attack, urging readers to support the team by reading the series. Determined, he declared that even if he becomes the feared monster, he will face it head-on. He vowed to take a piece of flesh, his allies watching as energy swirled around his hand. He ordered Zhang Butler to capture the man and bring him to the Zhao family. With a glint in his eyes, he suggested the orphaned kid for their dangerous task. He proposed that if the orphan agrees to be Master Zhao's adopted son, they can overlook the situation, otherwise, he threatened to break his legs. He overheard a conversation about the Zhao family, noting the mysterious disappearances of several people who sought their adoption, leading to an unsettling feeling. An elder woman declared her intent to confront anyone troubling little Wade, while others observed with surprise at the gravity of the situation. Village Headley confidently asserted his existence, standing firm as the young man beside him watched with a mix of respect and concern. A stern elder accused the old man of foolishness, pointing a finger at him while the older man appeared apprehensive under the weight of the accusation. The stern character demanded respect, declaring himself a high-ranking official of the Great Shan, while glaring fiercely to challenge anyone to defy him. A man, visibly distressed, exclaimed, a bead of sweat running down his face, as he struggled to find the right words in the tense atmosphere. A young woman, startled, watched as an elderly man angrily pointed, insisting they respect his position with Master Zhao, fearing he might faint at any moment. An imposing man, with a fierce expression and striking tattoos, scornfully called an elderly man an old fool, while two younger figures watched intently from behind. The fierce man, with a confident smirk, declared to the elderly man that he wouldn't argue today, but warned he would escalate matters to Master Zhao. With a confident smirk, he declared, "Let's go," as he stood behind the bearded elder and several other men, ready for action. The elder criticized someone for being ungrateful, mentioning their father while standing with two other men in frustration. Nearby, the elder criticized a person's ingratitude while a younger man comforted a woman in an abandoned place. The village had advised little Wade to avoid certain actions, and Wade expressed gratitude, saying he would remember Grandpa. In a tense moment, a character commanded everyone to stop looking and scatter, as others hesitated in the doorway. The character noted that such events might occur frequently, with glowing blue energy swirling around his hand. As the villagers left, one reflected that Grandpa could save him once but not every time. Determined, he clenched his fist, feeling energized, believing this system offered the chance for change. He noticed the screen and exclaimed, "Water essence detected. Beast evolution progress plus 0.1. Then asked, "Water essence?" Standing by the water, he felt calm, captivated by the glow reflecting from the surface. He explained that after taming the Taihua croc, he could summon it through a mental link, raising his hand against a swirling blue backdrop. The water shone with a blue glow as ripples spread, suggesting a hidden force below. He watched the rippling blue water, sensing a mysterious energy in the air. He lifted his hand, surrounded by surging blue water and swirling magic waves. He observed the crocodile emerging from the water, splashing blue magic under the stars. Kneeling in the grass, he wondered where his large crocodile had gone. The small crocodile's chibi form contemplated its evolution, growling softly in the night. He smiled, appreciating the system's feature under the starry sky. He curiously asked about the location of the water essence, sitting by a crocodile. Diving into the water, he pursued a shimmering figure among the bubbles. Navigating the dark water, he encountered a giant rock and twisting seaweed. He realized they were inside an underwater mountain cave, surrounded by vibrant seaweed and shimmering bubbles. He stepped into the cave, amazed by the beauty of the underwater surroundings, and wondered about the nature of the place. He marveled at the stunning view, pointing toward the shimmering lights in the cave and exclaiming its spectacular nature. He looked at the glowing herbs, pondering if they were the legendary mystic herbs he had heard about, as bubbles drifted around him. He reached out to touch the glowing, intertwined objects, sensing a strange energy emanating from them while bubbles swirled around his hand. He discovered a mystic herb filled with water essence and considered absorbing its extraordinary power amid vibrant flowers and trees. He learned that these plants, named mystic herbs, had special effects, glowing with an enchanting light against the dark background. He discovered in the Zhao Manor's backyard an icy pond with special water chestnuts growing at the bottom, surrounded by shimmering water and lotus leaves. He held a glowing bowl of water chestnuts, realizing the Zhao family had used them to gain warriors' favor as patrons. He eagerly examined the mystical herbs, excited to determine how much water essence they could provide. He called for assistance, urging his friend to explore the underwater realm with him. He reproached his idle friend, jokingly suggesting immovable as a more fitting name while they rested on the giant turtle. By the water's edge, he knelt, surrounded by lily pads, observing the soft glow of mysterious packages. Sitting down, he grinned with excitement, holding the glowing bread and feeling triumphant among the golden loaves. Discovering water essence, he realized it would enhance Zay's spirit synchronization and aid water beast's evolution, sensing potential in his hands. A bright smile spread across his face as he declared the food delicious, excitement evident. Holding 2 glowing water essences, he looked focused and determined, indicating his success. Lying exhausted on the ground, he sighed deeply, clutching his swollen belly. Liang-O, the host, contemplated the slow progress of his spirit and water beast evolution, deciding to prioritize self-improvement. Reaching out, he pressed the glowing blue Add button, marking a pivotal moment in his journey toward advancement. With newfound energy, he felt his body improving rapidly and realized he could confront adversaries using the power of water. His water monkey spirit, refined to 7.5% synchronization, granted him immense water control force, approximately 22.5 kilograms. Though he felt completely full, he knew he needed to save up for a few days. He recognized the importance of addressing future economic challenges, noting that autumn was ending and the crocodile was slowing down, preparing to hibernate. A splash of water occurred as a shimmering fish flopped on the ground, glistening under faint light, indicating its survival urgency. Startled, he exclaimed in surprise as a grumpy-looking creature watched him intently, while a fish flopped helplessly beside it. Laughing, he held a small, green-scaled creature, confidently saying he could solve the economic crisis by selling it at the market. The landscape showcased majestic mountains and lush forests, with birds soaring above, creating a tranquil scene. He proudly shared that he sold a big yellow fish for 81, earning a small profit, while encouraging others to support the team by reading the series. He chuckled, noting how merchants in this world were easier to persuade than the ants from his past life, feeling confident with his words. He contemplated the issue of water essence, deciding to find time to settle matters with Lai Tu Zhang, displaying confidence among the onlookers. A familiar face caught his eye when an elder recognized him, saying, "Isn't that Wade?" while surrounded by traditional architecture. Holding a fish, the elder laughed and shared a recent misunderstanding, mentioning he was about to apologize by coincidence. Suggesting they share a meal to clear up the misunderstanding, the elder laughed and brushed back his hair with a smirk. He assured her not to worry, saying it would just be the two of them, and teased that there was no escape. With a mischievous grin and a glint in his eye, he let out a soft laugh, creating an unsettling yet intriguing atmosphere. He smiled confidently, stating it was just the two of them, appearing relaxed and in control in the dim surroundings. Surrounded by 4 similarly dressed characters, he stood confidently. Tension rose as they hovered around a restrained man, hinting at a confrontation. He spoke worriedly about the recent mishaps in the Manor's experiments, noting the tragic loss of many lives. Expressing concern about the Manor's need for elixir materials, he emphasized Liang Chu's orphan status as the reason he was the best choice. He acknowledged the urgency and assured that Liang Chu would not escape, declaring his intention to handle the situation personally the next day. He stated that if she completed her task successfully, Master Zhao would enlist the help of powerful characters to aid her in achieving immortality. He expressed shock, his face damp with sweat, unable to believe the astonishing news. He reassured the other character, asserting that the astonishing news was true, as moonlight illuminated the area. He declared his intent to achieve immortality, while another character admitted to having the same goal, surrounded by a mystical purple aura. He laughed wildly, announcing his imminent rise as he displayed a bloody symbol on his chest, glowing ominously. He shouted triumphantly, wielding a knife, as blood flowed from his chest, declaring his determination to succeed. Wade admired the serene beauty, noting the absence of boats, as he sat peacefully in the boat. Wade proposed sharing a meal to clear up their misunderstanding, drumming his fingers on the table with a cunning smile. He inquired if any other boats were nearby, maintaining a serious expression against the serene sunset backdrop. He confidently claims to have scouted the area thoroughly. A sinister character laughs, saying no one will come to save him while drinking fish soup. The sinister character says the soup is good as he channels energy from his arm, standing over a startled older man with gray hair and worn clothes. The older man, sweating, looks surprised and fearful, staring at Wade with disbelief in his trembling voice. On the ground, the young man struggles and gasps, his mouth agape as a bright blue aura swirls around his head. Underwater, the man struggles and gasps, bubbles escaping his mouth as fear is evident in his wide eyes, the blue aura around him growing stronger. Reaching out with trembling fingers, he has a troubled expression as the sunset paints the sky behind him. Lying on the ground with a pained expression, his breath is ragged as he exclaims in frustration and despair. Bound on the ground with bulging eyes, he displays a tense expression, his fear clear as he gasps in alarm. With a cheeky smile, the sinister character teases the bound man, asking if he was sleeping soundly, the night sky looming around them. Wide-eyed and fearful, he stammers in shock, questioning the intent of the looming figure surrounded by an eerie glow. He mentioned the profitable betrayal to the Zhao family, displaying a bag containing what he believed to be at least 2 taels. He encouraged Wade to listen, while the old man, visibly frightened, tried to grasp the familiar environment, suggesting their shared history. He recalled their past adventures, questioning if they were at the spot where they had hunted the water beast that night. He sat calmly, unfazed by the ferocious water beast emerging from the waves, its massive jaws ready to attack. He shouted in panic about the water beast, sweat running down his face, overwhelmed by fear. He smirked, explaining that the water monster was now his pet, while the other questioned if he was the real monster. He trembled in fear, stammering about a monster, painfully realizing the other was indeed the true monster. He trembled and pleaded with Wade not to eat him, desperately offering to share all his secrets. He urgently inquired why Steward Zheng wanted him at Zhao Manor and about the recent influx of new servants. He anxiously disclosed that the captured individuals were needed for Master Zhao's immortality elixir, essential for his ascension. Energy envelopes the fallen men with glowing symbols while powerful forces loom above. A young man, hand on chin, questions another about the captured innocents. An old man, fearful, claims coercion as a menacing character threatens to turn him into elixir components. Bound and frightened, an old man pleads with Wade for mercy, his eyes reflecting his desperation. In a blood-streaked night, a wounded character clutches a bloodied object, revealing his grim experiences. Under the stars, he shows his monstrous side, blood on his face, eyes reflecting pain and truth. Tied up and submerged, he considers his situation, realizing survival depends on not killing the other. Sitting in a boat under the moonlight, he thinks about needing a strong ally to gain time. He dives into deep water, bubbles swirling, reminding himself to support the team by reading the series. A powerful thump from a blue glow resonates, illuminating his determination. A crane soars over calm waters with vibrant mountains and lush greenery under a soft-colored sky, representing freedom and peace in the scene. A crane stands on a wooden boat, looking at calm waters reflecting colorful mountains and sky, capturing a serene moment. A character struggles in the water, holding the boat's edge as the crane observes, its wing touching the waves, creating tension. Water drips down his face as he sighs in relief, with a lizard on his shoulder watching the landscape. He thinks about Power's convenience, with a green lizard clinging to him, recalling 3 days since Lai Tu Zhang was killed. He considers pretending to be a fisherman, selling fish for money, uncertain about his lie, claiming he hasn't been near the lotus pond. He talks about his boat, revealing he used Lai Tu Zhang's identity to avoid trouble, with a small creature adding to the chaos. He worries that the Zhao family's forces won't overlook the situation, fearing Lai Tu Zhang's disappearance will lead back to him. He states he must quickly become a martial artist, his determination clear in his intense gaze against a dark backdrop. Joining a martial arts school is the fastest way to become a martial artist, he explains, mentioning 3 schools in Pingyang town and the strength of the Yang Clan Martial Hall. He mentioned that the head of the Yang Clan Martial Hall possesses immense strength, capable of shattering gold and splitting stones, which explains why no one can match him. He believed that joining the martial hall would make the Zhao family fear him, as a missing disciple could cause significant issues for the school. He hesitated, noting the entry fee was 5 to 8 taels, while he had only 2 taels and 8 won, realizing the need to earn more money. He observed with amusement as a small, spiky green creature exhaled, producing a funny sound. He laughed, realizing he had been overthinking. With his new upgrade, he could control his strength better, while a small green creature sat on his shoulder. He stood on the wooden dock, expressing excitement to continue fishing, proudly holding a large fish. He swam gracefully through the water, feeling a deep connection to it since his awakening, with a creature gliding behind him. He grinned confidently underwater, determined to continue racing while training against the formidable creature known as immovable. He stared intensely with fierce green eyes, as bubbles rose around him, exhibiting his powerful presence underwater. He demonstrated a powerful technique by compressing water under his feet and bursting forward, showcasing his strength with a surge of energy. He acknowledges the downside of his powerful technique, noting it quickly drains his stamina, yet believes nothing can match his speed. He swims underwater, focused and determined, feeling the pressure around him as bubbles rise and shadows shift. He halts, startled by a fish glimmering with light, moving through the vibrant blue water. He observes in awe as the vibrant fish glows mysteriously, realizing it is a mystic fish. He learns that certain species in this world have unique powers, with the fish in the great marsh known as mystic fish. He is shocked to witness 2 mystical fish swimming together, their vibrant colors shimmering underwater. He is thrilled, noting the rarity of seeing even one mystical fish, but today he has discovered 2. He swims amazed, observing 2 vibrant mystical fish beneath him, each gleaming with color. He points excitedly at a peculiar fish, urging, "Immovable. You go for that one," as bubbles surround them underwater. In an intense moment, a dragon's eyes glow fiercely as it unleashes a powerful blast, revealing a tiny fish at the center, embodying both bravery and surprise. A crocodile with glowing eyes lunges forward, pursuing a small fish trying to escape. Diving deeper, a massive fish appears nearby, its spines glistening under the light. He grins, realizing he should have brought a fishing net for his journey. Struggling in the water, he spins as a vortex of blue energy surrounds him, trying to escape. He concentrates, controlling water flow as a swirling energy vortex forms around him. A massive, shimmering fish emerges from the water energy sphere, captivating with its splendid form. Leaping through the air, he calls for someone to grab hold, energy bursting around him. He smiles, announcing he has caught a glowing fish, magical energy surrounding him. He stands firm against a dark figure with glowing yellow eyes, clutching something tightly. Underwater, he comments confidently on the day's catch, optimistic about earning a good amount. With determination, he prepared for a crucial move, embodying the spirit of the series and encouraging team support. Startled, he gazed into the depths, his heart racing as an unknown presence loomed, capturing the moment's tension. He plunged deeper, eyes wide, as a shadowy presence with glowing red eyes loomed ominously above. Coughing violently, he struggled against the water, fighting to regain his breath surrounded by swirling waves. Gasping in terror, he lay helplessly as a giant creature loomed above, its glowing eyes and menacing grin hinting at danger. In shock, he stared at the swirling bubbles, feeling overwhelmed and shouting, questioning the terrifying creature's identity. He recalled rumors about a 6-whiskered man-eating catfish in Yixing City's river, frustrated by their encounter. He wondered about the creature's next move and feared another attack, as dark water splashed ominously. Concentrating intently, he commanded water to swirl in his grasp as glowing text proclaimed, "Water flow control," heightening the scene's tension. Adrenaline rushed through him, thinking it was close when quick reflexes saved him amid swirling water and bright energy. Surprised, he remarked on the unexpected danger, recognizing the cunning character of his opponent looming in the dark water. He questioned if the terrifying creature was mocking him, its eyes gleaming with malevolence against the darkness. Confronted by the creature, he felt a chill as its sharp teeth glinted ominously in the water, heightening his fear. Startled, he turned to face a massive crocodile-like creature emerging from the water, its menacing eyes glowing in the dark. He faced a giant reptilian figure with glowing eyes, its sharp teeth gleaming as it lunged from the water, threatening his team. Startled by a sudden motion, he saw the reptilian creature surging through the water, its glowing eyes fixed on him. He watched as the massive creature burst through the water, its fierce eyes locked onto him, confirming the feat of an immovable victory. He thought it was the perfect moment to act, believing it was his chance to seize victory. He realized that if he didn't tame the creature now, his life was in grave danger. He activated the blood command seal, believing his mental power was sufficient to subdue the fierce creature. He clenched his fist, feeling his mental energy decrease as warnings indicated his actions could provoke a severe backlash from the creature. Lightning crackled around him as he screamed, his eyes glowing with intensity. His green eyes glowed with focus, hinting at an emotional storm beneath his calm exterior. A wooden boat floated on the turquoise water, the surrounding atmosphere tranquil. He gripped the boat's edge tightly, water splashing as he struggled to balance. Exhausted, he lay on the boat, relieved to have returned, regretting underestimating the catfish's mental resistance. Sweat dripping down his face, he lay back, smirking as he thought aloud, but with uncertainty and determination. Reflecting, he smirked slightly, the rewards are just as great, with a mix of uncertainty and determination. He discovered that taming the six-whiskered catfish allowed evolution, requiring 800 units of water essence for transformation into a tiger-headed catfish. Relaxing in the boat, he teased the six-whiskered catfish, calling it chonky, amused as it splashed in response. He prepared to process his catch by lifting the jar, revealing today's fish as water splashed around. He was surprised when he saw the smaller mystic fish being swallowed by the larger one, and his expression showed shock and realization. He praised the steady crocodile, calling it immovable, while a cheerful fish swam nearby, adding a playful element to the scene. Among a pile of glimmering fish, two unusual pinkish ones with distinct features stood out, capturing light on the boat. He decided to test his strength by cooking the small fish first, focusing on the steam rising from the pot. A fish skeleton lay on the wooden floor, remnants of a meal indicating a recent feast. He smiled and decided to keep the little horn as a souvenir, while the water essence plus 18 shimmered below. Beaming, he noted that the 18 points equated to 18 mystic lotus roots against a vibrant backdrop. He thought that if the small fish provided this much, the larger one should yield at least 3 times more, around 53 water essence points. Calculating his fusion rate at 7.5%, he believed he could surpass it with both fish. He considered that saving for tuition was a priority but thought this catch should provide more than enough. At the entrance of Yixing City Marketplace, vendors sell goods while a blue-haired girl observes the vibrant stalls. Inside the marketplace, a determined young man walks through the crowd as a blonde girl beside him encourages support for the team by reading the series. Among the festivities, a young man overhears a woman and child discussing the premature celebration. In the market, a man with a red bandana engages in conversation, while another points at him, sharing in the excitement. Chen Jiachang, smiling confidently, invites everyone to view the rare mystic fish he possesses, boasting its weight of 1.18 kilograms. Chen Jiachang reveals the mystic fish, and onlookers express admiration for his skills. Upon seeing the mystic fish, the crowd gasps, and someone expresses curiosity about another's catch. A confident youth grins and tells the crowd to move aside, playfully asking if they're rushing to be reborn, as others watch. In the market, a boy hands a fish to another, who gestures to his baskets filled with more fish, while onlookers observe. Holding a fish, one boy coughs and exclaims that their Shangrao dock must be blessed by the river god for catching 2 mystical fish in one day. A man wearing a red bandana dismisses the boy's tale, claiming Chen only captured 1 mystical fish, while 2 others listen closely. The man clarifies he referred to his own catch, not the other person's. With a triumphant grin, he holds a large, shimmering fish in one hand and carries a woven basket under his arm. He teases another about his unattractive catch, while a woman behind him enjoys the exchange. Mocking another's serious expression, he laughs heartily as a group of friends watch the playful banter. Smirking, he showcases a fish and confidently exclaims, "Humph," in the bustling market. Spotting something, he smiles and inquires if it is a red blood perch, showing his curiosity. He notices Hu Chi, a martial instructor from Yang's clan martial hall, impressed by his presence. Inquiring about a fish price, he engages with a vendor as traditionally dressed onlookers observe. Nervously, he asks the vendor for a fair price, pointing playfully to a scale, with a hopeful expression. He asked the vendor if they would sell it for 150 yen, revealing both charm and determination. The vendor agreed to sell it for 150 yen, his smile lighting up the bustling atmosphere as others watched. A character called a man's attention to the impressive pink fish in his hand, while others looked on curiously. A confident character mocked another, calling him a shameless Liang family brat, as a group warned him about the martial instructor's wrath. A character with red eyes expressed surprise, identifying the fish as oxhorn pomfret. He held up the oxhorn pomfret, announcing its weight of 1.61 kilograms, full of excitement. He offered 325 won for the fish, while a friend watched curiously in the lively market. He exclaimed in disbelief about the 325 won offer, while another lamented not saving even 300 won across generations. His expression mixed surprise and concern, worrying about the situation with a troubled look. He smirked, warning her to be cautious about earning money she might never spend, while others watched the tense exchange. One character urges another to sell, while the other observes thoughtfully against a lively market scene. In a spacious hall, a confident character passes by with a basket, as three others watch with varied expressions. A young man holding a shimmering fish questions a tall, serious character about the lower value of his catch compared to the red blood perch. A young man with silver hair explains the medicinal benefits of oxhorn pomfret horns, highlighting their importance for vitality and blood flow. He expresses gratitude, mentioning that he kept the pomfret's horn as a souvenir due to its significance. As the sun sets, vibrant colors paint a peaceful evening in a serene town, evoking calmness. He silently counts to himself, 30, 35, 40, while sitting on the ground, smiling playfully as he holds a small object named one. He sits on the ground, holding one with a smile, counting silently, unaware of a shadow behind him. Lee praises one for making their town proud, sitting beside him, thumbs up in approval. He smiles, recognizing an important person, regretting not expressing gratitude during their last meeting. He asked her why she didn't give him the 350 Owen, while she struggled to suppress a laugh. He inquired about the cost to join Yang's clan martial hall, smiling confidently as his friend listened closely. He assured his friend they were asking the right person since his father planned to send him to the clan. He informed his friend that Master Yang's martial hall charged 351 for tuition, with extra costs for meals, lodging, and medicinal baths, stressing its superiority despite higher prices. He reviewed his savings and noted he had 455 won, realizing it was enough for the 350 won tuition at Master Yang's martial hall. He suggested they sign up together for the team the next day, while she listened with interest. He expressed surprise at his friend's wealth, to which the friend confidently replied it was not an issue. He discovered the mystic fish again, captivated by the swirling blue energy behind him. He raised an eyebrow in surprise, pondering the recent events, as a dark sunset colored the sky. A dark blue light illuminated the sign labeled, Zhao Manor, hinting at mystery within its shadowed halls. In the underground chamber of Zhao Manor, a character in traditional clothing discusses the disappearance of Lai Tu Zhang, mentioning they followed a lead to a boy named Liang Chu. In a dim corridor, a figure in dark robes dismisses another's concerns, urging them to resolve the matter independently. A stern man with a top knot stares intently, his expression unreadable, as silence envelopes the scene. During a tranquil night, a character sits alone in a wooden boat on a calm lake, surrounded by tall grass, pondering under the starry sky. He slices through the wood with precision, the blade glinting under the light as he focuses on creating delicate shapes. Balancing the shattered plate carefully, he lets the pieces fall while a green creature watches silently, steam rising from a pot under the starry night. Sitting quietly, he stirs a bubbling pot as a curious green creature observes, the night sky glowing around them. As he stirs the pot filled with fish and vegetables, the aroma captivates the surrounding creatures, with vibrant colors sparkling around them. Holding a bowl close to his lips, he savors the moment before sipping, immersing himself in the warm experience. Joyfully holding a bowl, he exclaims about the dish's freshness and fragrance, excitement evident as his bare feet rest on the ground. He offered a bowl to his companions, suggesting they partake, while he sat in the boat beneath the starry sky. He focused on the boat, observing as his water essence increased by 24, while the water shimmered under the night sky. He sat confidently, expecting the mystic fish as his water essence and strength noticeably grew. Feeling fortunate, he spotted another treasure fish surfacing, smiling proudly at his discovery. He smiled under the starry sky, eager to upgrade with the 18 from the oxhorn pomfret and the additional 24. Determined to support his team, he pressed the refining button firmly. A surge of power built within him, surrounded by intense blue energy as he focused. Liang-O concentrated on his training, considering that a sparring partner would be ideal, amid water essence and beast evaluations. He marveled at his enhanced water control ability, a glowing orb swirling in his hand. A massive creature charged through the waves, its sleek form cutting through, demonstrating the ocean's raw power. He contemplated how a small piece of food had lessened the essence needs for it, immovable, and chunky, as splashes erupted nearby. He had successfully tamed the water beast, Taihua Croc, which required 799 water essence to evolve into the horned crocodile, and the 6-whiskered catfish needed the same amount to transform into the tiger-head catfish. He pondered if the mysterious object was crafted by humans or naturally formed, drawn in by its ethereal glow. He studied the intricate carvings, recognizing one as the Ing Dragon, another as a giant ape named Wazigi, while the remaining side depicted extraordinary gods and a mysterious emperor dressed in black. Frustrated, he clenched his fist with swirling water around it, realizing that overthinking wasn't beneficial at the moment. Determined, he declared his intention to visit the martial hall to grow stronger and confront the Zhao family, with electric energy crackling around his fist. Excitement surrounded the two young men as they cheerfully declared their departure, preparing for their adventure behind the heavily laden cart. While sitting on the cart, one asked the master how much longer until they arrived, eager for their journey to continue. As they relaxed, one character excitedly pointed at something intriguing nearby, urging Liang Qiu to enjoy the beauty of their surroundings. In Pingyang town, rooftops with curved eaves clustered together, showcasing traditional architecture under a bright sky, hinting at the bustling life below. In bustling Pingyang town, two young men walk through the streets, exchanging smiles as townsfolk go about their day. Two young men in Pingyang town savor steaming dumplings, their faces showing determination and focus. In a lively room, two boys present their handmade puppets to a girl who seems amused, each seeking her approval. During a tense moment, a strong man strikes a stone block with force, causing a crowd to gasp in awe at the display of strength. Sunlight bathes the stone walls in a quiet courtyard, creating a calm atmosphere and hinting at upcoming events. He asked with a smirk if the kid he mentioned would pass through, showing a sinister interest. With arms crossed, he confidently agreed, displaying his muscular physique as others listened. He recounted overhearing a boy from the Li family talking about signing up at the Yang family martial hall. Laughing, he pointed out a kid who sold fish for 325 won, teasing companions about how that amount could buy a wife. He chuckled, suggesting 325 won could lead to trouble, while another questioned the wisdom of giving it to the martial hall. He mentioned the road was crucial for reaching the martial hall and noted it was an ideal moment with fewer people around. He advised his companion to remain silent, warning they were nearing their destination. He asked Wade how many opponents he could face after his training. Wade, uncertain, said he didn't know. He expressed uncertainty about how many opponents he could fight using his true strength. Turning suddenly, he addressed the two figures behind him, who stood prepared. He smirked at the kid, saying they met again and demanded money. He laughed threateningly, telling the kid to hand over the money or face severe consequences. He smirked, saying he would rather be buried by the roadside, showing defiance. He shouted angrily, accusing someone of seeking death, his expression fierce as he clenched his fist. He yelled in anger and struck his opponent with determination, as blood sprayed, highlighting the intensity of their clash. He yelled "brat" and launched a fierce attack at his opponent, who who was visibly shocked and fearful. He moved swiftly forward, catching his opponent off guard, who was clearly startled and alarmed. With an intense attack, he caught his opponent off guard, leaving the rival stunned and bloodied, highlighting the battle's intensity. Her powerful strike hit him suddenly, leaving the opponent stunned by the fierce energy of the attack. He launched a powerful attack, catching his opponent off guard and revealing the battle's intensity as blood spilled. He gasped as a powerful strike came toward him, sweat marking his shock amidst the increasing tension. He lunged forward with determination, executing a fierce slash that added to the chaotic atmosphere. In shock, he acknowledged the fight's speed, noting it ended in 9 moves. Alarmed by the fallen figure, he stumbled backward, while his companion rushed over, showing urgency. He examined his hands, realizing his physical abilities had greatly improved, feeling a sense of achievement. He asked when she had become so strong, pondering if he still needed a master at this stage. He laughed, asserting that he might be a genius, wearing a playful smirk as he relaxed. He urged his companion to hurry, noting that they would miss the admissions if they delayed. He stood silently, his expression intense, with dark hair tied back and purple eyes showing hidden determination. The grand building displayed Yang Tian martial arts prominently, surrounded by carvings hinting at a rich legacy and history. Xiang Chongsong introduced himself with a smile, asking others to call him Senior Brother Xiang, showcasing his friendly demeanor. 2 enthusiastic characters greeted Xiang Chongsong, showing admiration by addressing him as Senior Brother Xiang, highlighting their respect. The instructor gestured for Xiang Chongsong and his companions to follow, promising to introduce them to another teacher and discuss warrior details. The instructor introduced Senior Brother Hu, explaining he is a direct disciple of Master Yang. Hu appeared confident and ready. He expressed surprise, realizing the warrior they encountered in the market stood before them, while his companions listened in shock. He raised an eyebrow and smirked, curious about something unexpected, while his long hair flowed elegantly against the vibrant backdrop of the village. He playfully smirked at the two, expressing surprise, and asked Senior Brother Hu if he knew these 2 junior brothers, keeping the atmosphere lively and light. Smiling, he told Senior Brother Hu that the bullhorn pamphlet he used for his breakthrough was bought from this little brother's stall, maintaining a light atmosphere. He expressed excitement about training under Senior Brother Hu, informing them they could stay at the martial hall that night. He greeted Senior Brother Hu warmly, while his companions showed respect through bowing and greetings, creating excitement within the martial hall. With confidence, he invited his junior brothers to follow him, promising to test their innate bone structure, an air of authority present in his demeanor. Intrigued and slightly anxious, he wondered what his brother meant by bone structure, while another character observed him curiously. He laughed heartily, reassuring his anxious friend not to worry too much, explaining it was simply about finding the right path for him. A smile crossed his face as he asked if Senior Brother could clarify the principles of martial arts cultivation paths, as they still struggled to understand it. He contemplated the principles of martial arts, reflecting on how its foundation is divided into 4 stages: skin, flesh, bone, and blood. He explains the concept of the skin barrier, comparing it to oxide that toughens for great defense, and highlights the flesh barrier, where muscle strength allows him to lift a grown man effortlessly. He reveals the bone barrier, showcasing raw power that enables him to break stone and shatter monuments, impressing his opponent. He creates a blood barrier, enhancing his surroundings like intricate embroidery, with flames emerging from his fingertips. He states that refinement is essential, as ordinary people face limitations, needing technique and medicine to surpass them. Beside a wooden table, an open book and a tipped-over flask with small capsules suggest a moment of discovery or experimentation. He questions the connection between technique and medicine, while she watches with curiosity and concern, contemplating life's mysteries. He confirms methods as martial techniques, contemplating a vast staircase symbolizing the ascent through Yang Martial Hall's 3-fist techniques. He ponders cultivation techniques, questioning their implications on medicine. He considers the challenging path ahead, realizing the need for a handrail, likened to medicine, for a swift and secure ascent. He questions the sale of the bullhorn pamphlet, realizing it's the necessary medicine, feeling confident with Zed's assistance in acquiring it. He advises his junior brothers to take their time, emphasizing the importance of focusing on each step in the lengthy martial journey. Gratitude is expressed to his senior brother, requesting an evaluation of their bone structure while his junior stands nearby. With a bandaged arm, he observes as students prepare for their lessons under the clear sky. Third young master Zhao inquires if this is the person previously mentioned, while Hu Yenkai watches silently with determination. He agrees that removing the two from the martial hall will resolve issues, watching with a determined gaze. Zhao Shuyuan confidently assures, while holding a scroll, that the request can be fulfilled with ease. He informs his master that Liang Chu, an orphan, is 15 years old and ideal for refining elixirs. Determined, he considers the importance of capturing young Master Zhao to refine the elixir, gripping a letter. He reflects on Yuan Er's weakness since childhood, noting the difficulty in finding a suitable, fetal pill, and concludes that Liang Gu is indeed ideal. He notes that the brat is joining the Yang clan martial hall and recognizes the challenge of making a move due to Yang Dongxiong's temper. He informed his master of his departure, while another character observed silently. He picked up the photo of a young man, revealing nostalgia in the dim light. He resolved to consume the celestial elixir and break through his elixir aperture, glaring at any opposition. He shouted that someone would die, gripping a weapon tightly with determination. He pointed accusingly, expressing disbelief about someone's top-tier bone structure, lamenting his mid-high tier. He exclaimed it was unfair, while his companion attributed it to talent. He called out to his friend to wait, while his companion urged him to hurry to the martial training grounds. He looked shocked, his purple eyes wide, questioning what had just happened, feeling a bead of sweat. Chen Jiachong stood confidently with arms crossed, considering a question with intrigue and calm. Chen Jiachong asked what the other was doing there, receiving a defiant response that if Chen can be there, so can he. Chen Jiachong called the other character a brat, while the other asked defiantly if he wanted to fight, reminding him they came from the same town. A character greeted Brother Jia, who replied with uncertainty. Chen Jiachong, a seasoned fisherman from Yixing City, was known for his connection with the previous body owner. A cheerful character asked Brother Jia if he had come to practice martial arts as well, indicating a friendly interaction. He confirmed that everyone seeks strength in this world. After selling fish and saving money, he decided to come here. They agreed to go to the martial training grounds together, mentioning that senior brother who was already instructing there. One urged the other to hurry to avoid missing it. He cried, "Ha," as his fist clenched, indicating swift movement and focus. He shouted, "Ha," determinedly as he and his shirtless companions threw powerful punches, demonstrating their strength and focus. Breathing heavily, he grimaced, sweat dripping down his face, trying to control his anger. Breathing heavily, he clenched his fists, battling his emotions, while another man stood close, both determined against an unseen challenge. He raised his hand, commanding everyone to stop, urgency evident on his face. He commanded everyone to take a break, assuring them that Instructor Liu would resume the training later. He expressed his frustration, finding the training exhausting and considering quitting, while another character dismissed him as weak. He grumbled about the unpleasant fishy smell, questioning its source, while another character observed with curiosity. He complained about the terrible smell, urging someone to leave, as two others stood by, questioning if the three were born from a fish's belly. He proposed that if each person contributed 101, they could remain there. He shouted in surprise, asking if the other intended to stay, while his companion urged calm to avoid causing trouble for senior brother Hui. He reflected, unsure of facing the three opponents with his current strength. He smirked, inviting a fight while casually mentioning he was near breaking through the skin barrier. He contemplated the skin barrier, wishing they were in the river instead. He stared intensely at the other, frustration clear as he exclaimed in their tense atmosphere. Liu Yenkai demanded to know their activities, his expression serious as they stood together, tension obvious in their posture. He instructed them sternly to stand in a stance for half an hour if they had no tasks, his tone commanding attention. He remarked they should feel fortunate, scoffing that cowards had no place there, while two others watched the confrontation with concern. A character, annoyed, questioned if he wasn't heard, while two others walked behind, urging senior brother Hu to follow. One character expressed frustration, cursing and gesturing angrily, while another stood calmly beside him, reminding him that complaining wouldn't change the situation. Feeling urgency, he thought about the need to hurry and gain more strength. With determination, he told brother Jia he needed to head home for a while. Surprised, he asked for help to take leave that afternoon, as a character hurried away while onlookers observed. Concerned, she asked Wade about the situation, while he responded that no one really knew. With determination, he realized the Lotus Pond posed danger and enemies, believing it was his key to getting stronger. Nothing could go wrong. As he neared the training hall, his companion was close behind, both understanding the importance of honing their skills for the journey ahead. He observed that Liang Chu had been absent all day. His companion mentioned that the emperor appeared unconcerned, but the eunuch seemed worried. He confronted his opponent, questioning if he was seeking conflict. The other replied that he simply required a beating. He stared intently at his adversary, tension mounting as disbelief was shared between them, while laughter surrounded them. Feeling fortunate, he muttered about divine favor, while facing two opponents he deemed cowardly once more. Grinning menacingly, he taunted his opponent about senior brother Hu's absence, ready to exploit the weakness. Both gasped in shock upon recognizing their unexpected adversary, fury and fear evident in their eyes. With a confident smirk, he declared his intention to cripple them both, while ominous figures loomed behind. Under the moonlit sky, gentle waves touched the shore as two crabs explored the underwater world amid swaying seaweed and bubbles. Beneath the sparkling sea, a skilled diver rode a massive serpent-like creature, while a crab moved cautiously, surrounded by drifting sea plants and bubbles. He considers the strength of immovable and chonky, pondering what creature might have prompted a warning despite their resilience. He hides in the seaweed, clutching a spear, and quietly announces his presence underwater. He observes the turbulent waters, noting the large marks indicating something huge below. He grips his spear, ready to face the creature, while holding a green lizard and a shocked blue fish. He wonders if his synchronization rate has improved, revealing it is now 11.7%, controlling 35 kilograms of water. He feels pleased about his expanded perception range underwater, now reaching 16 meters, allowing detailed sensing of the waterbed. He wonders about the ominous character ahead, questioning if it is the monster. He questions whether the creature is a crab, showing confusion as bubbles rise around him. He marvels at the enormous character, noting its size amidst the bustling underwater world. He considers if the massive creature could be sentient, recalling instructor Hu's description of a spirit beast exceeding the skin barrier. He believes the creature shouldn't be too powerful, otherwise, immovable and chonky wouldn't have escaped. She feels uncertain and questions her ability to confront the creature alone, sensing a lack of preparation and strategy. He agrees that strength should follow a plan but hesitates, uncertain about the future path. He accuses the character before him of being a monster, his eyes wide with anger and fear. He compares the character to his father, claiming a lack of understanding about what truly benefits him, his expression stern. He declares confidently there's no place for cowards, his demeanor exuding strength and defiance. He reflects on his life, noting that accidents and danger have always been part of his underwater explorations. He observes that significant events involve risk, while only trivial moments are carefully planned. Determined, he asserts he won't let go easily when opportunities are within reach, his power surrounding him like water. He contemplates how Lai Tu Zhang's attempt on his life led to his own demise. He challenged his opponent, suggesting a competition to determine whose skills were superior for the Lotus Field. Standing confidently in the water, he channeled energy as a dragon emerged, electric currents signaling his power and mastery. He focused, shouting for everyone to attack, his energy surging as the dragon prepared to strike with him. With determination, he lunged forward, exclaiming, "Ha!" as the intensity of his attack peaked. She noticed his bravery and asked about his companion's whereabouts, tension rising among the onlookers. In anger, he shouted about visiting his grandparents' house, shattering a stone surface and causing chaos. Silent and surrounded by falling stone shards, he he stood with a stark expression, hinting at inner turmoil. Pinned down, he struggled against the grip, sweat glistening on his brow during the tense moment. He looked at them intensely, commenting on their apparent desire for death. She instructed 3 to guard the gate while planning to torture the captives on the ground. As night descended, she instructed her loyal subordinates to affirmatively prepare for the next phase. He advanced with an angry fist, while the calm character observed him with a mocking smile, ready for the upcoming confrontation. Their hands met in a fierce grip, tension high as they braced for the struggle, determination clear in their eyes. In a chaotic moment, he screamed in alarm, recognizing the danger as a powerful attack approached. He mocked her, commenting on her love for talking, as he pressed her down, urging her to continue speaking in the tense situation. He appreciated her observation skills while smoothing back his disheveled hair, amusement in his expression despite the bruises on his face. He clenched his hand with fierce determination, threatening to gouge out eyes, eager to see their training results. Anger in his eyes, he pointed threateningly, commanding him to stop, as the other lay defensively on the ground, sweat on his face. Determination in his eyes, he touched the eye carefully, a tear falling as manhwaga.com hovered above. Fearful, he screamed as glass shards scattered, reaching out desperately, highlighting the panic of the moment. A massive, fearsome creature with sharp teeth bursts from the shadows of the blue depths, creating a shockwave that hints at nearby danger. A fierce creature emerges, scattering rocks. The character exclaims in shock, expressing surprise. He lunges forward through the water, spear ready to strike, as splashes erupt around him. He expresses frustration about the crab shell's resilience while a giant crocodile's head approaches, demanding his attention. He feels pressured as the monstrous crocodile closes in, its glowing eyes fixed on him, prompting an instinctive preparation for retaliation. He unleashes a powerful attack, water swirling around him, as the threat looms above, displaying a fierce expression. He points forward with determination as water bubbles around him, a dragon ominously looming in the background, its fierce eyes fixed on him. He coughs, sweating and frustrated, realizing the loss of control over his mental energy, having misfired at a critical moment. He unleashes a powerful attack, water swirling around him, as he prepares to strike, showcasing strength in a dramatic moment. He readies himself as powerful water blasts surround him, his attack gaining momentum, eyes filled with determination and energy. He acknowledged the impressive move by the formidable character, calling it chonky as tension filled the scene. The fierce creature emerged with a splash, gurgling loudly, ready to strike. The creature lunged forward, its powerful limbs striking the water and sending golden objects tumbling below. He realized his lotus roots were gone, shock and frustration reflected in his intense gaze. He leaped forward with energy, attacking the massive fish while water splashed around him, determination evident. He gripped his weapon tightly, readying himself to strike as water droplets splashed around him. Focused, he navigated through underwater currents, skillfully managing his fishing line amid water splashes. Determined, he confronted the looming danger, declaring that the enemy wouldn't survive as the massive creature approached. He stood ready, staff in hand, facing the shadows of the enormous creature as eerie bubbles rose around him. With piercing eyes, he demanded to know if the imposing character had any vulnerability. He attacked the monstrous creature with determination, causing water to splash around him. Underwater, he struggled intensely, bubbles rising as the pressure increased. Massive creatures named Immovable and Chonky battled fiercely underwater, causing water to explode around them. In the depths, a character with striking hair watched the intense underwater struggle, tension evident in the currents. He reflected on the creature's instinct to protect its vulnerable underside, considering the situation's intensity. After planning, he realized the weak point was the belly and compressed the water around his wooden spear. With dwindling mental strength, he formed 2 rings, knowing this would accelerate the spear. Determination was evident in his grip. Despite low mental strength and the risk of backlash from water beasts, he knew he had to act quickly. He confidently declared it was time to test their true skills, unleashing a powerful surge of energy from his arm. Blue light crackled fiercely around him as he released a brilliant surge of energy, ready to test their skills. He released a surge of energy, announcing it was time to test their skills as blue light crackled around him. He expressed disbelief and joy, declaring his victory as bubbles swirled in the underwater scene. He closed his eyes, feeling serenity as bubbles drifted around in the deep blue water. He focused intently, his eye reflecting a storm of emotions, determination, and vulnerability. He sat in darkness, feeling weak and disoriented, questioning if he might lose consciousness while small creatures watched him. He looked up with a grateful smile, questioning if the creatures had helped him, as one nestled beside him. He winced, holding his head, realizing the need for caution with that move in the future. He questioned the mysterious object, as the atmosphere grew tense and foreboding. He stood before the enormous crab monster, questioning which creature the others had brought in the dim light. He smiled mischievously, contemplating how the creature would provide a significant amount of water essence. He turned to the small creature, surprised as it pointed to a notable location behind the imposing blue claws. He questioned if the large crab was female while a curious small creature sat beside it. He concluded he was touching crab eggs and thought taming such a large crab would make his lair unbeatable. He realized he couldn't tame the large crab and wondered if the eggs were just baby crabs. He contemplated whether the blood command could seal and tame the shimmering golden eggs scattered around him. He carefully sliced through his bandaged hand, revealing a hidden wound that pulsed with power, contemplating its significance. He gazed intently at the glowing blood command seal, his bandaged hand poised above it, feeling its energy as mysterious symbols illuminated the air. He anxiously wondered if it had worked, his expression reflecting uncertainty as he faced the shadows behind him. The blue creature peeked out from the cracked shell, its expression showing a mix of excitement and surprise as it noticed something off-screen. Emerging from its cracked shell, the adorable blue creature gazed around with wide eyes, full of curiosity. After taming the stone crab, he realized it could evolve into the stone crab king with 8,000 water essence. While enjoying his meal, he noted the fusion rates were at 10.4%, 14.7%, and 18.8%. He exhaled, surrounded by a glow, observing a fusion rate of 36.6%, indicating transformation progress. Intensely focused, a powerful blue lion appeared above him, emitting a glow, signifying his transformation's pivotal moment. Beneath a starry sky, a startled fish reacted in the water, with a green creature nearby, creating a magical scene. Standing shirtless under glowing water, bathed in blue light, he realized his injuries had healed. Amidst a vibrant underwater scene, he witnessed a divine miracle as friendly creatures surrounded him with wide eyes. Proudly, he shared his fusion rate increase to 36.6%, noting the mystic fish granted extra energy. He sensed his own blood energy when a red symbol appeared on his chest. Recalling instructor whose words about breaking the skin barrier, he felt confident about becoming stronger. He informed them they could keep the leftover crab meat and eggs, but warned the meat wouldn't last long and each egg was worth only 6 points of water essence. He laughed, refusing to let the small crab eat its own kind, calling it cruel, and gave the little crab the name Fist. He was determined to break through the skin barrier within a month to officially become a Marshall Hall student. He confidently said that soon, the Zhao family would no longer pose a threat to him, while a small blue crab sat on his shoulder. He noted with a smirk that he only needed to return to the Marshall Hall for the next morning's training, with the small blue crab still on his shoulder. He urged his opponent to stop, a chilling smile on his face as he exerted dominance, emphasizing the tension in the dim atmosphere. A stern character in a robe told Lu Tingkai to stop, their faces highlighted by the eerie atmosphere, building tension between them. Lu Xiaohui, with a fierce expression and determined gaze, emphasized the importance of the Marshall Hall's rules, showing his strong beliefs. A character, looking troubled, acknowledged Lu as the instructor, explaining he was just following Zhao's orders and shouldn't be blamed. The character stared in shock, his face a mix of surprise and fear, as a significant realization hit him. One character smirked and asked if the other would respect the Zhao family's Marshall Hall rules. The other character stared back, with tension in the air. A character pointed out a guy who had forgotten his master, while two others laughed, highlighting his disrespect for the Zhao family. He questioned whether she or her father would have achieved anything without the Zhao family support. He mockingly challenged her courage, calling her a weak loser. He reminded her that her father remained in the Zhao estate and suggested she say something nice to him for a good word. Filled with regret, he called out to his dad, apologizing and pledging to protect his family at all costs, regardless of consequences. He mockingly encouraged someone to be obedient, calling him Lu the lapdog, while companions laughed approvingly, creating a tense atmosphere. He laughed heartily, his expression a mix of mockery and confidence, as if he found joy in everyone's misery. He chuckled with sinister delight, bloodied and defeated, while his companion looked on with concern. He lay defeated, a sinister smile on his bloodied face, expressing annoyance with his opponent's tricks, calling them pathetic. A smirk appeared on his face, a gleam in his eyes, amused by the situation, and he let out a chilling laugh that echoed ominously. He gasped as a kick struck him, leaving him on the ground. He screamed, realizing he was overpowered. The aggressor taunted him, questioning his bravery. The aggressor declared he wouldn't harm the protagonist but would target their friends. Fury filled the protagonist's eyes as he dared his opponent to fight. The character mocked, questioning if anyone would save him, while his opponent wondered about backup. Confidently, the character stood as someone rushed behind him, hinting at a confrontation. He turned suddenly, realizing the gravity of the situation behind him. A figure, surrounded by smoke with glowing blue eyes, stood facing an unknown challenge. A young man with icy blue eyes gazed forward, exuding confidence as shadows swirled around him. With piercing blue eyes, the young man stared ahead, showing determination as shadows loomed. Wade lay on the ground, dirt and sweat marking his face, concerned for the unconscious girl beside him. Flames danced behind him as he clenched his jaw and declared he would knock out every opponent's tooth, his determination hidden behind dark shades. From the rooftop, two characters with long hair observed a tense standoff below, where a lone character faced a group, intensifying the situation. He admitted to his master that celebrating too much was entirely his fault, leading to his late arrival after breaking through the blood barrier. He realized for the first time how cold-blooded Lu Xiaohui truly was. He acknowledged that despite Lu Xiaohui's cold nature, there was genuine concern, but he felt Lu Xiaohui was now restrained. He observed Yang Dongxiong's fierce look and commanding presence, noting his belief that a warrior without courage is lifeless, reflecting a deep philosophy. The master and his companion discussed aiding brother Liang, worried about Lu Tingkai, who was close to breaking the skin barrier, diminishing victory chances. He paused, intrigued by the boy's blood energy, finding it fascinating while a powerful aura surrounded the boy. He confidently questioned if someone actually believed they could break his teeth, standing with a striking presence beneath the night sky. He expressed his frustration, stating he had already informed them, leaning forward with a focused gaze. She charged forward with intense energy, threatening to shatter his teeth, her presence powerful and dynamic. The angry man shouted about being just a fisherman, pointing furiously, as two others prepared to attack, one sweating profusely. With a swift kick, he propelled himself at his opponent, while two others braced for impact, their faces a mix of shock and determination. He concentrated, ready to deliver a powerful strike, his expression resolute as energy crackled around him. He launched a powerful punch, energy surging as his fist connected, determination evident, leaving a burst of energy behind. She unleashed a powerful kick, fury emanating from her, commanding her opponent to withstand her strength. Fury ignited on his face as he shouted at the brat, warning him against becoming too cocky. He delivered a powerful strike, blood splattering as he let out a fierce cry, heightening the confrontation. He said it was now the other's turn, his blue eyes glimmering with determination. With a wild grin, he taunted that defeating them would make the other his equal, while flames flickered behind him, highlighting his confidence. He focused with a piercing gaze, determination shining in his eyes, as a blue aura surrounded him. His intense gaze and furrowed brow highlighted fierce determination, the blue aura in the background emphasizing his strength. Two characters unleashed powerful strikes, energy crackling around them, as they engaged in a dynamic clash, demonstrating their struggle and determination. In a fierce confrontation, one character struck another with explosive force, showcasing power and determination amidst swirling energy. A character with wild hair and intense eyes gritted his teeth, filled with anger and determination, as he prepared for the next move. During a fierce clash, a character with wild hair delivered a powerful punch, blood splattering as tension escalated. A character with disheveled hair stood ready to fight, while another, bleeding from the mouth, fell into unconsciousness. With a sly grin, he declared that she was nothing special, maintaining a confident demeanor despite the tension. Blood stained his face as he lunged forward, expressing disbelief while gripping a knife tightly. Furious, he called the person nothing more than a filthy fisherman, blood splattering from their unseen struggle. She yelled with rage, calling him a pathetic loner with no support, her words echoing in the tense atmosphere. In a rush of motion, his hand gripped tightly, blood staining it as tension escalated dramatically. Menacingly, he revealed blood trickling from his mouth, declaring someone truly disgraceful. Furious, with blood trailing from his mouth, he shouted that the person was a disgusting coward. His body twisted, unleashing a furious slash, vibrant blood flying amidst the chaotic energy. He unleashed a powerful attack, causing rocks to shatter and debris to explode in a frenzy. With a haunted expression, he gasped, tears blurring his vision as emotions surged. A bloodied face and wide eyes filled with terror, he weakly pleaded for Lu Xiaohui to stay away, overwhelmed by the horror. Sweat dripped down his face as he hesitated, aware of the gravity of the situation. Someone urged him to act against his attacking disciple. Flames surged from the blade, and he called for an end to the chaos, trying to regain control of the intense battle. He declared the six would no longer be welcome at the martial hall, his gaze resolute and commanding. He ordered Lu Xiaohui to the confinement room. Lu Xiaohui grinned and acknowledged, "Yes, master." Dirt streaked his face and his hands bandaged. He sat in shock, questioning if it was truly the legendary Yang Dongxiong as he called for Master Yang. The elderly man in a fur cloak, emitting authority, contemplated his next move under the quiet night. Bloodied and pained, he lamented his grave mistake, realizing he could no longer stay in the martial hall. Raging, he shouted, confronting his opponent with determination, branding them a solitary outcast. In despair, he questioned if his efforts were in vain, while Liang Chu confirmed his identity with hesitation. His piercing red eyes glinted in the moonlight as he smirked, asking if she was interested in becoming his direct disciple. He was shocked, blood on his face, and exclaimed in disbelief, asking, "What?" A commanding figure stood under the moonlight, towering over a kneeling man who looked up with fear and uncertainty as the elder gestured authoritatively. Bright sunlight illuminated the Yang residence, where its elegant architecture stood amidst vibrant greenery, a blend of tradition and beauty. Two characters in traditional attire gossiped about the master's decision to accept his ninth direct disciple, noting the young man's remarkable handsomeness. A girl with vibrant purple eyes peeked through a doorway, calling out to young Master Liang with cheer. Holding ceremonial robes, he politely insisted that 3 ladies, including one with a bun, step out for a moment. He entered with a stack of ceremonial robes, appearing puzzled as one girl giggled mischievously while another curiously looked over her shoulder. Standing quietly with eyebrows furrowed, he held a bundled cloth, deep in thought as a bead of sweat trickled down. With a confident smile, he reflected on his recent victory over Lu Tingkai, remembering that 2 weeks had passed since that event. In a warm bath, he thought about his healed injuries, crediting Master Yang's treatments and acknowledging Chen Jiachang and Li Bo's support. He felt a sense of belonging, declaring he was no longer alone, with a master, siblings, and strong support behind him. Determined to seek vengeance, he stated, "Zhao family, it's time for my revenge." His resolve was evident in his focused demeanor. He humorously recalled that night, mentioning Liang Shidi had been in a precarious situation, almost hanging by a thread from the rooftop. He imagined with excitement someone entering the martial hall and, in a single day, defeating a person close to breaking through the skin barrier. Su Zi Shuai, the 4th senior brother, laughed and acknowledged Xiang Chang Song, the 8th senior brother, commenting on his fondness for Liang Shi with excitement. Chao Rang, the 6th senior brother, teased Su Zishui, asking if he felt jealous of their little junior's affection, while Zhuo Shaoqin, the fifth senior sister, smiled knowingly. Yu Dun boasted about gifting a tungsten steel arm guard to someone, describing it as a small token, while Lu Gang and the third senior brother smiled beside him. He smiled and reminded his senior sister not to tease fourth brother too harshly, acknowledging the effort it took for him to save up for that. He excitedly announced that little junior brother was coming out, his long silver hair swaying gently as he spoke. Confidently standing, he wore a striking outfit adorned with intricate designs, his fierce expression showed determination as leaves danced around him. He greeted his senior brothers and sisters with a friendly demeanor, eager to connect. Liang Chu thanked everyone for their gifts, smiling as he clasped his hands with his companions. Liang Chu jested about not having given his gift yet, nudging his surprised companion. He excitedly presented a shiny piece of tungsten steel, announcing it as a special gift for his junior brother. With a bright smile, he invited senior brother Lu to visit his shop for weapon advice, and Lu expressed gratitude. He reminded everyone about the gifts and urged them to proceed to the main hall to avoid keeping the master and mistress waiting. At Zhao Manor, a traditional building stands against blue skies and mountains, suggesting elegance and history. Two characters stand before a painting, with one urgently calling the master, showing concern and anticipation. A tense character with blue eyes, sweating, reveals Lai Tu Zhang's body has been found, creating uncertainty. A dark scene shows the entity in the character's stomach has vanished, leaving blood and swirling bubbles. A character, filled with anger, calls another a useless fool while delivering a powerful blow, indicating a fierce clash. A furious character warns another about potential trouble if their actions are discovered, stressing the necessity of an apology if authorities arrive. A panicked character pleads with his master, explaining that Liang Chu is responsible for the chaos, suggesting that someone might be harmed. The master, scowling, questions the character about Liang Chu, reminding him that Zhao Te claims to be Yang Dongxiong's personal disciple. With a fierce look, the master demands his subordinate find the object urgently, causing the man to tremble and agree nervously. The master, with a calculating expression, considers Liang Chu, contemplating his next move. In front of Yang Manor, the name Liang Chu stands out, indicating the location's significance. Madame Yang Sushir listens as a dignified elder thanks her and requests her to be his disciple, noting her courage and diligence. He kneels, determined, expressing his desire to become her disciple. He smiles, advising that joining his sect requires humility, open-mindedness, diligence in self-discipline, respect for teachers and elders, and filial piety. He instructed firmly that harming fellow disciples, acting unjustly, or misusing power is unacceptable, while a young woman smiled beside him. Disciple Liang Chu understood, his gaze lowered in contemplation, wearing a fur coat that added seriousness to the moment. The master announced that drinking the tea meant becoming his direct ninth disciple, ensuring protection from bullying with his master as support. Liang Chu acknowledged his master's teachings, clasping his hands in understanding and determination. Liang Chu and fellow martial artists engaged in intense training, shouting battle cries as they executed punches and kicks. During a break, Liang Chu and his fellow martial artists rested on stone benches, reflecting on their rigorous training. While resting, two martial artists discussed Liang Chu becoming Master Yang's personal disciple, noting it as a remarkable story. Smiling, two martial artists recounted that Lu Tingkai and his group were expelled from the martial hall, hinting at larger forces at play. He frowned in anger, silently cursing Liang Chu, as his expression darkened. He inquired about the 4 barriers and 7 paths, and Liang explained that skin, flesh, bone, and blood are the first 4 barriers. He described the 7 paths, which include galloping horse, wolf smoke, tiger hunting, stomping elephant, heavenly dragon, forge, and transcendent rainbow. He shared that in the galloping horse realm, one can effortlessly control many horses at its peak level. He explained the wolf smoke realm, where energy and blood rise like smoke, and its power feels overwhelming, while in the tiger hunting realm, ordinary people seem like rabbits before a fierce tiger. In the elephant stomping realm, mountains tremble and rivers calm as he states those entering are destined to become great generals. In the heavenly dragon realm, a character prepares for battle, transformed by celestial powers, ready to soar into the clouds as a martial saint. In a grand setting, a character considers the furnace realm and transcendent realm, knowing skilled individuals have achieved ascendance and transcendence. A character reflects on the formidable martial arts of the world, pondering if ascension could return him to his original realm. He wonders about the realm his master has reached, contemplating the formidable martial arts and the journey ahead. He laughs and inquires if his junior brother knows how many martial halls exist in Pingyang Town, showing his curiosity. He speculates aloud if there are 3 martial halls in Pingyang Town, his curiosity clear in his expression. He mentions that 2 families remain in Pingyang Town to open a school, while Master Yang stays out of loyalty to their hometown. He proudly states their martial arts school leads the rankings annually because Master Yang runs the sole tiger hunting realm in Pingyang. He shares his excitement about entering the tiger hunting realm faster with the system's boost. He laughs after concluding the morning lesson, advising his junior brother to balance tension and relaxation. The junior brother thanks him. He smirks, planning to relieve pressure from the Zhao family by capturing the mystic fish and advancing to true martial artist status. He stands confidently on the wooden boat, admiring the shimmering water, surrounded by lush green hills and swaying reeds. He contemplates the overflowing fish catch on the small boat, realizing he may need a larger vessel. He sighs over the missed chance to find the treasure fish, wondering when he will have the opportunity to catch it. He looks determined, noting the synchronization rate is 37%, thinking of catching it to break through the skin barrier. Liang Chu concentrates on his progress, noting the synchronization rate with the water monkey spirit is 37%, contemplating his next steps to evolve his water beasts. He gazes at the vibrant red feather, puzzled by its presence. Standing in a boat, he grips his sword tightly as waves crash around him, questioning the strange sound. In shock, he questions the object before him, his expression a mix of fear and confusion while holding his weapon tightly. He urgently calls out, seeing an enormous toad attacking a giant bird, chaos illuminated by blue energy. In alarm, he shouts as a massive toad battles a fiery phoenix, vibrant colors clashing dynamically. With a splash, the enormous toad lunges from the water, its fierce eyes ready for action. He stands on the boat's edge, eyes wide as a massive wave crashes toward him, exclaiming, "Damn!" Alarmed, he watches a fish leap from the water, shouting, "My fish," as waves splash around. As fish leap from the water, debris flies through the air, creating a chaotic scene. He struggles in the swirling water, fear and determination evident, as sweat traces down his face. A surge of energy erupts as a portal opens, a character's determined gaze fixed as the word "chirp" echoes through the chaos. With intense focus, he launches a mental assault, vibrant red energy swirling as he announces a powerful attack. Underwater, he battles to break free from swirling fish, determination and shock etched on his face. She looks into the distance, shadows obscuring her face, exuding determination and mystery as the atmosphere thickens. Curious eyes wide, a small blue crab peers from the grass, pondering a question as water glistens nearby. He wondered if he had lost consciousness again, grateful to see the little blue crab and green creature who saved him once more. He considered whether the bird's cry had caused his blackout, while the crab and creature stood ready. Gazing at the stormy sea, he thought about the terrifying strength of the spirit beast and feared its captor might be even stronger. He sighed, lying on the grass, feeling defeated after losing the boat and fish, delaying plans to breach the skin barrier. Confused, he lay on the grass as a curious scaled creature peeked at him. He looked puzzled, observing the small, scaled creature nearby, curious about the immovable one's condition. He realized it was a crimson scholar perch and considered attempting to breach the skin barrier. He discovered that blood energy signifies a martial artist's physical prowess, yet true strength lies in the ability to condense adequate blood energy. He noted that blood energy results from strength, reinforcing its origin and creating an endless cycle that emanates power from the body. Beneath the starry sky, a character lights incense, sending smoke upwards, surrounded by an atmosphere suggesting calm reflection. In a dimly lit room, a character sits shirtless, glistening with sweat, staring at a bubbling pot and incense smoke, immersed in thought. Amidst swirling incense smoke, he closes his eyes, a bead of sweat slides down his cheek, deep in contemplation. Holding a box, he explains that concentration incense aids martial artists in more easily breaking through their gates. He sits calmly amid flames, reflecting on how tempering chest blood energy is vital for breaking through the Pi gate to become a martial artist. He explains that training blood energy allows recovery by eating fish meat, demonstrated while holding chopsticks. He reflects on his 38th attempt, acknowledging he is still slightly short of his goal, sweat glistening on his skin. He learns that breaking through the Pi gate requires using chi and blood to refine the body's skin, a crucial aspect in martial arts. He discovers that sensing a warm current from his chest merges with his blood energy, allowing chi to circulate, eventually transforming into heat throughout his body. He confidently declares this moment marks the beginning of his skin refinement, as fiery energy radiates from his body while he stands tall. An explosive heart symbol radiates intense energy, representing a pivotal moment of awakening, as flames and sparks ignite around it. He gasps and expresses frustration after his 40th attempt, realizing he's still falling short despite his intense effort. Liang Chu inspects his ZED host status, noting his water monkey spirit's sync rate and contemplating evolving his water beasts into powerful forms. Liang Chu considers his synchronization rate at 49%, questioning why he hasn't managed to break through the Pi gate yet. Liang Chu, shirtless and confident, believes reaching 50% will trigger a significant change, gesturing with determination. Liang Chu, shirtless and contemplative, reflects on the absence of fish meat and the ineffectiveness of lotus roots, deciding he must seek another mystic fish. Liang Chu, bare-chested and facing away, wonders if dawn has arrived, observing the light through the barred window. Wade moves toward the door, while Chen Cheng and Li Daoming exchange glances. Li Daoming mentions that Chen's uncle wanted Wade to check on something after seeing him arrive home late the previous day. Wade smiles and inquires if something is amiss, asking Uncle Li why Li Bo and Chen Jichang's fathers sought him out. Under a clear sky, two men converse. One asks if the other has seen his son, who has been missing for 2 days. He smiles and explains his late return home, forgetting to inform Uncle Li. He mentions their impressive performance that caught the martial instructor's attention and their training in a designated courtyard room. He admits they were too scared to return due to not fully healed injuries, sharing a moment of camaraderie with his friends. One man laughs heartily, reminiscing about his son, and commends the martial artists from Yixing City. The other praises the bond between Wade and his childhood friend. Wade's uncle reminds him about the village's upcoming river god sacrificial ceremony, as a woman listens quietly. Wade questions the need for the upcoming river god sacrificial ceremony, recalling a similar event just 3 months earlier. Wade reminds others that the river god revealed a divine sign, emphasizing the urgent need for another ritual while his companion excitedly describes the spectacle. He explained that they were discussing the toad, emphasizing his urgency as water swirled around him. Wade reassured Uncle Chen of his financial support and involvement when the time comes. Blue water in the lotus cave reflected the surroundings, with lotus flowers floating on its surface. A character moved swiftly through the blue water in the lotus cave, brandishing a blade and breaking the tranquility with vibrant splashes. A character descended into the water in the lotus cave, spinning with a poised blade, creating blue splashes. A massive crocodile emerged with open jaws in the depths of the water, ready to attack a struggling character. He rode a dragon-like creature with determination, wielding a staff as waves splashed around him in the dark water. He detailed his control over water, noting his ability to manage 150 liters and compress 10 liters to unleash 15 kilograms of force. He swung his weapon with determination, releasing a powerful arc of blue energy, demonstrating his combat mastery. Underwater, a fierce battle unfolded as a blue whirlpool formed, with a serpent and an alligator-like creature facing each other. Underwater, a serpent faces off against an alligator-like character, both poised to strike with determination. A catfish boasts underwater about its strength, claiming to have surpassed Pi Gate and confident in defeating Lu Tingkai easily. Liang Chu, the ZEO host, stands confidently, showcasing his water monkey spirit as he assesses his potential to evolve into a horned crocodile, hoping to awaken strength in weaker beings. While holding a stick, Liang Chu contemplates the water blade technique and wishes for a weapon that matches his abilities. Liang Chu recalls his third senior brother explaining that the world features spirit weapons, which can self-repair and grow stronger over time, sparking his imagination. He envisions the grandeur of spirit weapons, requiring heavenly materials and earthly treasures to forge their cores, reflecting brilliance and allure. Underwater, Liang Chu gazes at his makeshift weapon, pondering when he will obtain a weapon of true power. Feeling intense heat, Liang Chu expresses concern upon realizing something is burning and looks alarmed at the source. Curious underwater, Liang Chu questions his companion about a recent discovery as a small blue creature floats nearby. Liang Chu swims deeper underwater beside a large fish, pondering if something is hidden beneath the rubble. Liang Chu discovered a vibrant feather glowing in the rubble, realizing it must have come from a giant bird and recognizing its special significance. He stared at the striking red feather, recognizing it as the same one from the previous day. Liang Chu gazed at something underwater, wondering if it could be a rare treasure. As Liang Chu held a glowing sword underwater, he pondered selecting a weapon and considered visiting senior brother Lu Gang's blacksmith shop. In Pingyang County, the rooftops blended into the landscape, highlighting a vibrant community against distant mountains. A young man with messy hair walked past an older man and an elderly figure, surrounded by the glow of lanterns in a traditional setting. He remembered that third senior brother's forge was nearby and thought about the familiar surroundings. He pondered a distant site, considering its proximity to Pingyang County and planning to discuss it with senior brother. Liang Chu admired Lu Min's blacksmith shop, its unique architecture combining traditional and modern styles, and anticipated what awaited inside. He observed as the hammer struck the glowing red metal, sending sparks flying and showcasing energy and craftsmanship. He noticed junior brother Liang's arrival and, after wiping sweat from his brow, held the hammer, ready for the next task. Junior brother Liang shared with senior brother Lu that he discovered something interesting while fishing that morning and wanted to discuss it. He recognized the vibrant crimson fire molt feather, which radiated a mystical glow. In astonishment, he exclaimed that the vibrant crimson fire molt feather was truly a treasure, and his friend was equally amazed. Addressing brother Lu, he expressed excitement, stating it was a real treasure, and asked if brother Lu recognized it. He enthusiastically told junior brother Liang about the amazing find, his excitement clear in his expression and voice. He learned that the feather belonged to the crimson fire bird, a rare spirit creature that injects its life essence into a feather when in danger. The feathers scatter in all directions, with one unique feather containing the most essence, called the scarlet fire gold feather. The bird undergoes rebirth using a feather, similar to a lizard shedding its tail, but in this case, it regenerates its entire body. He smiled and asked excitedly if it was one of those golden feathers, showing both curiosity and admiration in a vibrant, blood-spattered background. He laughed, explaining the feather was a crimson fire remnant feather, yet praised her discovery. She seemed pensive, seeking guidance from senior brother Lu. Senior brother Lu advised forging a spiritual weapon with the feather rather than just absorbing its energy. He confidently made his decision, smiling with determination in a warmly lit room. Reflecting on his past fight with the stone crab, he concluded a polearm would be ideal for underwater combat, improving his techniques. With confidence, he declared his weapon choice, stating, "I choose a spear." His fierce expression showed determination and power. Concerned, he noted that a spear was unusual in their martial school, mentioning that longer weapons could reach farther but were harder to control. He resolved to embed the feather into the spear, excited about obtaining a spiritual weapon. Expressing gratitude to his senior brother, he eagerly awaited his spiritual weapon's completion, as the older brother nodded. He casually inquired about the long plume of smoke outside, pointing with curiosity while the older brother walked away. Gesturing seriously towards an unknown place, he conveyed urgency, while the other man sensed the gravity of his words. He stated with intensity that the location was Fahua Temple, where a significant fire occurred earlier that morning. Amidst the flames, an unexpected entity appeared, hinting at the chaos surrounding the area. He felt dread realizing that mountain demons, which should not have been there, emerged within the fierce flames. A grotesque creature with glowing blue eyes and elongated limbs crawled forward, its skeletal form scraping the ground, surrounded by dark remnants. In a serene landscape, the character stood near a traditional red and gold pagoda, surrounded by blossoming trees, gazing thoughtfully at the structure. In a lush forest, he walked carefully, his footfalls soft on the earth, revealing a glimpse of his patterned sock. He ran through the forest, panting heavily and sweating, his hair disheveled but determined despite exhaustion. Breathing heavily, she clutched her belly, gazing anxiously through the dense foliage, her expression showing fear and determination. A man in a long robe stood on the stairs, gripping a broom and desperately calling for help, his voice echoing in the empty hall. With wide eyes, the young boy looked up, clutching his bamboo stick and weakly calling for assistance, surrounded by dramatic light. A distressed woman, with visible injuries, pleaded for help from the little master. She reached out, calling for her female benefactor, hoping and yearning for assistance. In his urgency, he shouted for his female benefactor, his determination clear as he reached out. 3 characters stood in a room, their bald heads gleaming, whispering about a secret confrontation and sensing an important discussion. He informed his master that the female benefactor was waking up, while she slowly opened her eyes, revealing a striking red gaze. Smiling, he told the female benefactor she had awakened, as the old man with a long beard observed with wisdom. Holding her head, she asked the abbot about her location, while a young man watched with concern and the wise old man stood nearby. He shared his origin from Huazhu County, stating he arrived in Pingyang County 3 months prior, but something unexpected occurred. He recounted being attacked by mysterious bandits, with rain pouring around them. She explained her blindfolded capture to an unfamiliar place, expressing worry as she faced the cloaked figures beside her. She stood defiantly, sweat on her face, as an invisible force exposed her vulnerability. He considered the place hellish, where those inside turned into tormented ghosts, their anguished faces mirroring his despair. He inquired if they had kidnapped him for ransom, his furrowed brow showing concern and skepticism. She nervously ran her fingers through her hair, wide-eyed with fear, recalling their ominous words. They understood they were merely materials for pill refinement, their faces showing horror and acceptance amidst swirling pink and dark tones. He ordered Dan to rise, his urgent tone highlighting the moment's significance against a stark black backdrop. Agony overtook him as a glowing red symbol etched into his torso, while cloaked figures chanted nearby. He stood with a grim expression, holding a bloody knife as shadows surrounded him, indicating a dark atmosphere. With a tight grip, he raised a gleaming knife, blood dripping, illustrating the grim reality of his act. He screamed in terror, blood splattering, capturing the horror as anguish filled his face. He lifted his bloodied hands, a sinister grin spreading across his face, casting a shadow over the surroundings as dread filled the air. A bloodied hand held a glowing orb, while shadowy characters in the background observed, their expressions hidden. Aoyang, with a worried look and sweat on his brow, asked Brother Lin about the strange things inside their bellies. Lin Guiyong, hooded, spoke with confidence about the fetal pearl elixir, created by Lord Envoy, his words filled with authority. Shrouded in shadows, Lin Guiyong explained how people are fed broth made from mountain ghost flesh, causing their bellies to swell with lumps. After 3 months, the swollen lumps transform into fetal pellets, which can be processed into a fetal pearl elixir, rumored to grant immortality. He wondered what would happen if the process took longer than 3 months, his concern evident. Nervously, he contemplated the risk of leaving them for more than 3 months, fearing they might hatch if not removed in time. Concerned, he questioned what they might hatch into, while another man listened intently, anxiety apparent. Troubled, with tears glistening, he warned that she doesn't want to know the truth, in a dark atmosphere. He is tasked with delivering a vegetarian meal to a female benefactor, while his senior brother reports to the authorities. Carrying the steaming meal, he walks through the ornate hall illuminated by sunlight filtering through the architecture. The curious young boy peeks from behind the door and asks if the female benefactor is present. With a steaming bowl in hand, the bald monk cautiously enters the dimly lit room, drawn by curiosity to the space behind the curtain. Through the sheer curtain, he observes someone fast asleep, noting the scene with mild amusement. His bright blue eyes widen with curiosity and surprise as he witnesses an unexpected event. Startled, he looks down at the unfamiliar dark red substance pooling at his feet, uncertain of its source. Wide-eyed, he senses an unseen danger as dark red lines creep into his view. Eerily still, he stands with blood-stained feet as shadows hint at horror nearby. With a bloodied weapon in hand, he stares at the towering shadow, feeling fear and determination amid the chilling words, "This is." He pondered the unsettling question, could this be the benefactor, while uncertainty surrounded him. His mind raced in horror as he noticed something unsettling on the bed, causing him to break into a cold sweat. He stared at the lifeless character, blood streaking down her face, her eyes wide in terror, the room heavy with dread. He jumped in terror, his eyes wide with fear, spilling his food, and cried out in alarm. Shock filled his gaze as a small injury on his head seeped blood, his eyes reflecting confusion and fear. Confusion and fear were evident in his wide eyes as blood trickled from a wound on his bald head. A sinister creature with glowing green eyes and a gnarled face peered through the shadows, holding a bloody necklace. Four travelers walked along a sunlit path, surrounded by lush greenery, discussing their next destination. 3 men expressed gratitude to young hero Lu for his help in the investigation, noting his assistance was invaluable. Young hero Lu dismissed their gratitude, saying it was simply the expected conduct of martial artists. The elder urges Zhao to help conceal corpses at Manhwa Temple and retrieve a hidden item. Zhao, intrigued, asks about the item, but the elder cryptically says understanding will come upon seeing it. A bald character gestures confidently, telling the group their destination is near, hinting at an impending journey. A character points to Manhwa Temple, claiming it as his home, surrounded by ancient trees. A character approaches the slightly ajar door, curious about what lies beyond as a shadow approaches. 2 anxious men stand before a doorway, eyes wide, as their leader grimaces in anticipation. A shocked group of men stares at the bloodied bodies, one exclaiming in disbelief. A young man, eyes wide with fear, urgently calls for his master amid dramatic energy. A frantic young man, head shaved and sweating, races forward, calling out to save his master, with 3 others following. One character, kneeling, mentions Xiao Luo is pursuing the monk, urging an investigation, while another watches. A character inspects the scene, noting the corpses appear to have been bitten by a large insect and ponders the existence of such a creature. He considers if this situation relates to Zheng Xiang's mention of some corpses. He examines the bloodstains, his expression serious as concern grows. Observing the bloodstains, he suspects the bodies were dragged, noting their direction. He follows the bloodstains to a towering pagoda, realizing the mark's end where 2 figures stand, indicating something sinister. Kneeling in fear, he sees 2 men at the doorway, their expressions showing shock and concern. He questions the strange events and Zheng Xiang's intentions, confused by the scene. Gazing at the corpses, he wonders how they ended up gathered so ominously. Pressing his palms together in prayer, he whispers Amitabha's name for solace as sweat drips down his face. With determination, he clenches his fist, facing a door that promises action and confrontation. His expression filled with frustration and alarm, he angrily questions who is outside, sensing a thick tension around. Frustration visible, he questions angrily if someone is rebelling, while another character warns that a real issue is about to arise. Young hero Lu faces a grotesque creature, as a worried character, sweating and panicking, inquires about its identity. Young hero Lu confronts the monstrous mass, while another character nervously explains they are mountain ghost eggs, a method of the ghost mother cult. Startled, a character asks if they are dealing with the ghost mother cult, pondering if these are remnants of the previous dynasty. A character smirks, revealing that once a mountain ghost hatches, it consumes flesh and blood, and its incubation is now complete, ready to evolve. 3 characters stand in shock, contemplating a massive creature on the floor, realizing it possesses the strength of a galloping horse. Visibly shaken and sweating, a character exclaims about something's strength, comparing it to that of a galloping horse. A gnarled, twisted arm forcefully emerges, splattering liquid, as the character reacts in shock, exclaiming in fear about its presence. A monstrous gnarled arm bursts forth, casting shadows while the character reacts in horror, feeling the unsettling presence around them. The character realizes the monstrous arm emerging signals the mountain ghost's second stage. He repeatedly chants Namo Amitba while a creature with elongated limbs and glowing eyes crouches before him. The creature lunges with sharp claws, and the character's expression shifts to horror, engulfed in a burst of red energy. The little monk, sweating, shouts urgently, showcasing a mixture of fear and determination as he moves purposefully. Two men in blue garments shout in alarm, attempting to reach the cloaked figure ready to strike. The creature looms with sharp teeth and glowing eyes, its skeletal form dripping dark liquid, inspiring terror. A figure in a dark robe attacks fiercely with claws extended, as another character braces for the chaotic confrontation. A warrior swings a sword fiercely, blood splattering as he loses balance, illustrating a chaotic battle moment. A desperate man, trembling, clutches his weapon and calls for the hero Lu to save him from doom. An anxious man, sweating, reveals his fear, stating a creature has the strength of a horse-level monster, and he hasn't fully broken through the fourth gate. He felt anxious about retreating, knowing he could break down the door with his strength but feared what might be outside. He screamed in terror when confronted by a creature with a gaping mouth and eerie blue eyes. He declared that survival was his priority and insisted he always live to survive first. He prioritized his safety while another man, fearful, resisted, as a calm character observed from the background. A modest house stood alone, symbolizing hope, as someone wished for their father's well-being above all else. He was horrified and expressed disgust towards the young hero, pleading for salvation. He struggled in fear as a monstrous character loomed over him, its terrifying form reflecting his desperation. In terror, he faced the monstrous character, its grotesque limbs menacingly extended as he prepared to fight. Determined, he prepared to test his strength against a galloping horse, while a man behind watched with a smirk. With hope, he vowed to become a celebrated hero like Yang Dongxiong, raising his weapon confidently against a radiant backdrop. She praised Brother Lu for being remarkable, while he mentioned he was planning to go into the city with his father. He announced they would work at Master Zhao's residence, believing it was his opportunity. She confidently assured Brother Lu of his success, sharing the moment with a playful grin. One character mocked another, questioning his belief in escaping the academy and calling it a joke. Another character taunted cruelly, suggesting he should remain with his ailing father for life. A house stood under the stars, with a faint cough from within hinting at illness. In a dim room, a girl explained to her father about being bullied, as he tended to her injury. The injured girl listened as her father applied a cloth to her forehead, reminding her to be respectful and willing to learn. The girl, determined, assured her father she understood his lessons. He urged her to become someone worthy of respect, pondering her master's potential actions. The elder, dressed regally, insists that newcomers to his sect must have open minds, humility, and a strong thirst for knowledge. He advises against arrogance regarding achievements or looking down upon others while wielding a sword against a creeping threat. With determination, he lunges forward, weapon in hand, slicing through the air. He leaps forward with his blade, embodying righteousness, stressing the need for respect towards parents and allies and emphasizing devotion. With a fierce strike, he declares that anyone joining must uphold justice and fight for the right cause. He cautions against committing evil or bullying the weak, as a terrifying character looms behind him. A fire blazes fiercely, consuming papers and casting shadows in the dim space. At the martial school, Master Yang stands firm with a fierce gaze as young Lu Xiaohui watches, a long blade at his waist. The attacker lunges with a swift strike, leaving targets horrified and marked by fear as the sword gleams, emphasizing the intensity. With swift motion, the long blade slices through the air, gleaming like gold and sapphire, showcasing raw power. Blades flashed through the darkness, compelling the enemy to retreat. He struck the monstrous character, his blade cutting through shadow, revealing sharp teeth in its grin. As wind and sand whipped around, Master Yang stood alone against the monsters, wounded but determined. The eerie character lunged, and he swung his sword fiercely, aiming to strike the monstrous foe. He slammed his hand down with force, inviting everyone to find out what happens next. Determined, he knelt before a sword in the ground, engulfed in flames, vowing not to let the monster escape. Reflecting on his injury, he was relieved it wasn't severe, while the monster writhed beneath him. Surrounded by flames, she reassured young hero Lu of their accomplishment, affirming his heroism. With flames in the background, he smirked, questioning his hero status, his face marked with dirt. Under the night sky, he stood confidently, proclaiming others possess more heroism than he ever could. Beneath the evening sky, a confident character urges others to confront their foes as two frightened children remain silent observers. In a tense setting, a threatening character warns that refusal will result in broken teeth, revealing a chilling grin. In dim light, two frightened children huddle, their appearance showing signs of hardship and fear as they face an unseen threat. A masked character, in a haunting setting, begins speaking, suggesting an important revelation, while two anxious children listen attentively. With a tense demeanor, he clenches his fist, filled with regret, and vows to gain power, insisting he must not fail others. Under an ancient temple sign, he walks past crumbling walls, feeling history's weight as solemn characters watch him, hinting at a foreboding fate. Excitedly, he points upward, claiming he has found them, with urgency in his gaze, as another character observes with a stern look. As shadows loom, a character reflects on their ordeal, questioning their experience, while three men watch from a distance, serious expressions on their faces. During chaos, a character asks who stands defiantly, leaning on a blade, as a monstrous figure approaches. A trap rests on the grimy floor, its golden edges dimly glinting, while ominous shadows of a looming character envelop the scene. He knelt to examine a glinting weapon on the dirty ground, surrounded by chaos, his focus sharp and intense. He held out a golden talisman with inscribed symbols, determination in his eyes, claiming it was intended for the recipient. He grasped a glowing orb in his bandaged hand, clouds swirling around him, filled with anticipation. A boy with dark, messy hair looked up, confusion on his face, asking his bandaged brother why he offered help, while a girl hid behind him. Grinning mischievously, he declared himself a hero who never bullied the weak, framed by a dramatic sunset. She blushed, holding her flowing garment, inviting others to join their discord, excited about exclusive chapters at Manhwa. He angrily confronted his companion, blaming him for reckless actions, while the defeated man lay on the ground, tensions high. Furiously, he demanded to know the trouble his companion caused by exposing the matter at Fahua Temple. He anxiously explained to his master that they made a hasty decision, evident from the sweat on his brow. He recalled the day they learned of the woman's escape and their hurried chase, not expecting her to head to the temple. He recalled arriving to find the site already soaked in blood, with shadowy characters nearby. He said he had to let Lu Xiaohui report to the authorities while they dealt with the mountain demon. Upon entering the sutra repository, he noticed bloody steps and shadowy characters surrounding him. As they swiftly closed the doors, urgency was evident in the dimly lit room. Their plan was to set the place on fire, aiming to destroy evidence as flames engulfed the structure. Frustration was apparent as one character questioned another about the purpose of the fire, arguing it would take days to reduce everything to ashes. Anger was visible as he shouted, "Enough," his intense determination partially hidden in shadows. He scolded the group for their mistakes, gripping the chair tightly amid the chaos. Facing the others, he revealed their failure to handle the woman had serious consequences. He realized the Supreme Mother would not accept their lack of sincerity. Frustration grew as he insisted that insincerity deserved punishment, pointing with authority. A tense moment arose when he seized the man's head, sparking panic visible in his wide eyes and sweat-covered face. Blood on his face, he stated it was the Supreme Mother's will. Two shocked characters watched as blood splattered around a dark figure on the floor. Blood on his hands, a chilling character told Master Zhao his contributions would bring blessings from the Supreme Mother. Calmly, the character reminded Master Zhao of their shared fate, regardless of past actions. A determined character assured his superior of resolving the situation, with his companion standing solemnly beside him. With a grin, he questioned Steward Zheng's willingness to abandon his son for the conflict. He assured his superior that such mistakes wouldn't happen again, while another character loomed behind him. Laughing sinisterly, he left the plan to Master Zhao and Steward Zheng, creating tension. Under the night sky, a character walked away, while two others watched with concern, sensing unease. He gasped, sweat on his forehead, as he sat, visibly distressed and deep in thought. He noticed blood on the floor. A worried servant exclaimed that the steward was now openly threatening them. He scoffed, questioning what could be done, stating he wouldn't heed the old man if not for his family's wealth. He felt relieved they followed the plan, using the woman's strength to aid the mountain demon, mentioning the challenge of another opportunity. He noted smooth progress but stressed the need to escape, as the court was already acting. He planned their escape to Huangzhou, confident that resolving the Fahua Temple matter would let them live like immortals. With a sly grin, the man declared that Zhao Tai Zhu Dan could progress without Yang Dongxiong's interference. Under the night sky, a character emphasized minimizing damage to avoid Dashuan's purge, suggesting it was safest. At Yixing Market's entrance, the sprawling village welcomes visitors beneath a bright sky, offering adventure and possibility. Lu Xiaohui found himself in an unexpected situation, dressed in elegant robes and looking resigned. He recalled Li Bo's comments about a man who stood for justice, but another character suddenly interrupted, shouting for him to stop. He questioned why the man was at Fahua Temple, remembering senior brother Lu's words about the martial school not receiving any authority requests that day. Contemplating the mountain demon outside, he worried about the world's cruelty and hoped that the monster was already dead. Recognizing a familiar face, he exclaimed in surprise upon seeing Wade nearby. Wade greeted Uncle Chen joyfully. Chen, surprised but welcoming, asked about the situation. Chen suggested she return home to see the large crowd gathered at her doorstep. As she approached, he noticed a massive centipede on the rocks while villagers gathered, looking surprised and concerned at the unusual sight. Startled by the enormous centipede crawling along a skeletal hand, the word immortality echoed ominously in his mind. A skeletal figure, grinning with jagged teeth and glowing blue eyes, called out, "Liang Chu," its presence sending chills through the air. Great individuals endure immense suffering, and a commanding voice orders, "Break," as tension fills the scene. Wooden logs are stacked in the dim light, and someone exclaims that they are completely broken. Frustration arises as he declares this situation the worst, overwhelmed by the burden of suffering. Xue Qingquan stands confidently, a smug smile on his face, surveying his surroundings with authority and cunning. Xue Dingyi, with urgency in his eyes, pleads with his father, frustrated after lying in place for half an hour. A man in a robe defiantly tells a man in purple that the little fisherman no longer needs their involvement. A sharp noise erupts as the man in purple reacts, his robe twisting with the force, startling him amid the turmoil. A father angrily berates his son, lamenting how a charismatic man like himself ended up with such a foolish child, as the son pleads for mercy. A furious character threatens to beat the crying girl, who recoils in fear across a wooden seat, desperately calling for help. A furious character raises a stick threateningly towards a girl bent over a wooden bench, her face contorted in fear as she braces for impact. He expressed frustration about a troubled kid joining the martial school, mentioning that trouble had come knocking. She questioned when he ever said that. She asked if they had ever lent Liang Chu grain, noting that despite this, he still came to visit. Liang Guantian scolded her for ignorance, saying she didn't understand anything. A worried woman pleaded for him not to be so angry. Frustrated, a young man exclaimed that a disrespectful brat had returned and threatened to beat him for his insolence. A young man in a blue robe approached with concern, questioning Xue Dingyi about his presence at his doorstep. As a crowd gathered, one man yelled, "Scoundrel," while another admired the young man, exclaiming he was a fine-looking young man. A man exclaimed in surprise at seeing nephew Liang Chu, while another hurried past, suggesting a bustling town. One man praised another, admiring his upright demeanor and lack of fear, noting he had become Master Yang's personal disciple. A worried expression crossed a young man's face as he learned about Master Yang, the renowned hero Yang Dongxiong from the Yang Martial School. A teacher explained that being a personal disciple meant Wade sincerely respected Master Yang, considering him as half a father. At the Yang Martial School, respect was mandatory even for the county magistrate. A man expressed surprise, noting that even the county magistrate must acknowledge Master Yang, while two shadowy characters reacted in shock. A character praised Wade for his accomplishments, while others joked about his age and marriage prospects, admiring his appearance. A character reprimanded his son for a disgraceful act, expressing disbelief at his behavior. Another warned he wouldn't prevent any violent attempts. A dark-haired character, smirking, declared he could do anything he wanted as a pleased figure observed among the shadowy crowd. A character leaned forward with regret, stating he didn't hold grudges but warned that bottled resentment could shorten life. With a sinister smile and glowing red eyes, a character leaned in, asking who wouldn't desire a long life and demanded an answer. Tears streaming down his face, he pleaded with Brother Liang, promising to serve him in exchange for sparing his life. He decided to move on, suggesting they forget the past and leave it behind. He told his companion he had suffered enough, not being the mastermind behind events. His friend expressed gratitude, thanking Brother Liang. He looked back in surprise, questioning his relation to his father and pleaded not to be beaten today. A man in traditional robes confidently declined nephew Liang's offer, holding a tray of treats, while others watched with interest. He declared 200, while showing silver tails, shocking onlookers, and a woman exclaimed disbelief at the sight of real silver. Bursting through the door, he announced his presence as the beloved uncle of the nephew, surprising a character in the shadows. He introduced himself eagerly as Liang Chu's genuine uncle and suggested discussing compensation together. He confronted Liang Guantian angrily, questioning his neglect of Wade, while others mocked the sudden display of affection. In frustration, he questioned the ignorance of others, highlighting his importance in Wade's life and implying they wouldn't understand. Frustrated, he shouted, asking, "Nephew Liang, who is this?" while another character replied dismissively, "I don't know him." In the benefactor's memory, he recalled the supposed uncle as a leech, thriving off others, offering nothing even as the benefactor starved. He suggested that action could be taken during the upcoming River God Festival, requiring each man to donate 100 copper coins. He proposed that since Master Shui was generous, they could assist in covering costs for the celebration and set up a porridge stall. The crowd applauded Wade, calling him generous, as he stood confidently with a satisfied smile. Auntie called out, waiting for him. He sighed with relief, feeling it was over, while casually standing by the door with a light smile. He recalled his last visit to the martial school, where he practiced refining his skin. This time, it felt different, no longer tight, but swollen. He confidently said that if he wasn't mistaken, he should break through his skin gate today. Water flowed from the wooden spout into a dark barrel, splashing droplets as the scene seemed refreshing. He focused on the water, contemplating that this final breakthrough would create more heat than before, realizing any mistake could be disastrous. Submerged in water, surrounded by flames, he prepared for the breakthrough, determined that it was starting. He sat in a large pot, surrounded by swirling smoke, his face hidden, as he prepared for transformation. He closed his eyes, enveloped in smoke, as tranquility washed over him, indicating a profound transformation. He closed his eyes, engulfed in smoke, signaling a profound transformation was about to start. He submerged himself in the swirling water, vibrant waves spiraling around, indicating a transformative experience. His determination was evident. Breaking through the skin barrier, radiant energy spiraled around him, marking a pivotal moment in his awakening and transformation. Channeling his power, he reflected on his enhanced water-controlling ability, now estimated at 250 kilograms, feeling a surge of confidence. Liang Du contemplated the system's increased integration, feeling a mix of determination and frustration about his water spirit's potential. With determination, Liang Du realized that breaking through the skin barrier greatly enhanced his abilities, wondering if surpassing all 4 barriers would allow him to control several tons. Smirking, Liang-du reflected on how his two abilities worked together, allowing him to achieve double rewards from ordinary efforts, feeling immense satisfaction. Liang-du prepared for a walk, suddenly startled by someone approaching, causing a surprised reaction. He exclaimed in surprise as he fell backward, his expression reflecting sudden shock. Holding a paper bag, he asked if this was his dear nephew, his expression a mix of surprise and recognition against old stone walls. Surprised, he questioned what Liang Guangtian wanted, his expression curious as he stood at the entrance of an old stone building. He explained with a knowing smile that his uncle worried about him going hungry and brought him rice after scraping the jar's bottom. Firmly, he told someone to take the rice back, assuring them he wouldn't lack food anymore, understanding the rice's value in this world. Anxiously, he reached for the door, urging someone to wait, his hand trembling slightly as he tried to open it. Pressing his face against the door, he urged someone to push it open, his determination clear despite the tension. In surprise, he exclaimed upon seeing someone lying on the ground as he stood at the door, concern evident. He covered his mouth in shock, insisting he was the real uncle, while another man claimed to be the sole uncle, arguing the house should be his. She expressed disbelief about a large sum of money given by Master Shui, questioning why it wasn't used wisely. Pointing angrily, he insisted Xiao Lu should use the money to support his cousin, arguing that elders are like fathers and he could be seen as a paternal character for Xiao Lu's family. Standing confidently in traditional attire, he warned Liang Guantian with a piercing gaze, challenging him to face death if he dared. Gasping in surprise, he realized how much his friend had changed in moments, noticing his increased height. He shouted for someone to witness the scene, pointing at the boy flailing on the ground, claiming to be his true uncle, Luizi. Grimacing in pain, he felt a splash of liquid on his face and exclaimed, "Pa!" She confronted her uncle, questioning if he contributed to Liang's father's coffin and if he helped when Wade was starving, while another woman stood behind her. She recounted the family's shameful past during asset division, questioning if Liang's father would have managed with just a boat while raising Wade alone, as another woman listened. He demanded to know the woman's origin and warned her that if it was her turn to speak, he'd slap her. He yelled that he'd be the one to slap first, caught off guard by a sudden attack. The village chief, Chen Zhaoan, loomed over the young man, questioning his humanity and accusing him of rushing for benefits like an animal. A young man fled in fear as a woman with a stick yelled at him, warning him never to return. A man reflected on the significance of a particular village chief in Yixing City as someone fled, suggesting that even Lord Zhao must face him. He bowed slightly to the village chief, expressing gratitude for his assistance, and inquired why the chief was seeking him. The village chief expressed hope that the man could serve as the chief official for the river festival. He likened being the chief official of the festival to a grand priest, considering it a significant opportunity. He wondered if the festival day would reveal the true effects of the river's favorability. He assured his grandfather, the village chief, that he would memorize the ritual texts in the coming days while in a wooden setting. The following morning, a character admired the bright sunshine, smiled at the flowers, and enjoyed a peaceful moment from their wooden perch. Two birds chirped cheerfully on a tree branch, adding liveliness to the sunny morning. Yawning widely, he was surprised and curious about why someone was carrying a school bag, showing enthusiasm. He doubted his ability to recognize many characters and worried about memorizing the ritual texts but felt obliged to meet his master's demands. He raised his fist triumphantly, declaring a new beginning as an ancient era student.